are no strangers to scandal. See and Anthony on satellite radio. Those hosts, Anthony Camilla and Greg Opie King.
Controversial team.
Comment, profanity list, Opie and Anthony.
Opie and Anthony apologizing for yet another raunchy gag. The Opie and Anthony show.
Is this the last straw for the raunchy radio duo?
This is dangerous.
There's nothing in the Bible that says you can't tongue an asshole.
Psychotic, sexual deviance.
I just want to take it in the shitter like a good fruit.
Really, it is a very, very bad thing.
Go fuck yourself.
It's unbelievable.
I love it.
We know we're great. Everyone knows we're great.
Complete horseshit.
This show is never short of gaffers. We're just dicks.
We don't get you one way, we fuck you the other way.
This is like what goes on in a mental institution.
I'm the Opie and Anthony virus, and I'm here to infect you with hilarity.
But enough of this palaver. Let's get the show on the road.
What's the matter, Opster? No microphone. That's a microphone.
Opie, I can't hear you.
Well, hello there. Good morning.
Opie, I can't hear you on the microphone.
I hear Opie off the microphone. Hello. I don't hear him on the microphone.
Hello.
Opie, I hear you now.
One lousy button.
There he is.
Program was the button that was not pushed today.
Remember left and right?
I remember left and right.
Lingy lingy.
Tiger Woods' wife is out of here.
Why?
Well,
has something happened?
Jesus, dude. I can't even keep track. We get 2 more girls. We could do some kind of like 12 whores of Tiger or something.
Oh, boy. I smell parody. Ugh.
The 12 whores of Tiger. We're up to 10. Holly Sampson is the latest woman to come forward to have sex with Tiger Woods.
Yeah.
Who's Holly Sampson?
Some like porn star.
Really?
Yay.
Porn star.
But kind of like one of the kind of like
upper crusty ones.
Kind of like porn light.
Oh, soft core
porn, I believe.
Man.
So Tiger's wife, I guess, it's being reported this morning everywhere. Bought a mansion in Sweden last week and has moved out. Although that's a little suspicious because I think Tiger owns 2 houses in that development, and I think she's just kind of living in the other house right now.
Well.
So technically, I guess she's not in the same house as Tiger right now. So I'm not. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. I'm just amazed. All these people talking that are supposedly your friends, supposedly your family members.
Once
supposedly
the dam breaks, that's it.
It's
unbelievable. Is that her right there?
Wow,
is that Holly?
She has a nice dark hiney hole. She's hot, man.
She needs a bleach job down there.
No, she's wonderful.
Maybe some rubbed off.
Jesus.
That's a hardy fucker. Oh, wow. What a bad. She's hot. Her face is a little older, but she's
a little. Her face is atrocious.
I'd give her not quite.
No,
Tiger don't give a shit about that.
Little red toes. She's kind of hot.
Tiger's a bad boy.
He's a naughty boy.
Tiger's a healthy-blooded American male.
I agree with you, but the problem is that Tiger's turning out to be nothing like he has been portrayed for the last 10, 15 years.
No,
That's why the story is so interesting. On Twitter, I can't tell you how many people leave Tiger alone. Just leave it. It's none of our business. Leave him alone. The interest level is high because he was a goody two-shoes, all-American star from a young age, with this great image, perfect image for sponsorships, perfect image for a game like golf, changed the game of golf. And now we're finding out that he's a naughty, naughty boy.
Just a naughty boy that's able to take his mind off of fucking long enough to play golf. Isn't that amazing?
I'm starting to think, imagine how many tournaments he would have won if he fucking wasn't a sex addict or whatever the hell he is.
And you start thinking about those slumps he fell into every so often, or those games where he was like just sucking.
Right.
Like, what happened to Tiger during those games? Maybe the night before he was just up fucking.
Ambient fucking.
Yeah, ambient fucking. Yeah, apparently.
You ever do any of that ambient fucking?
I've never taken ambient in my life.
Never taken ambient. I've seen the effects of ambient.
But they say
as soon as you
they say you take the ambient, and right after you take it, you could have some really good sex.
Do some of that fucking.
You could have some really good sex right after.
We also in this country have a weird thing where it's like, I know it is interesting because he's a goody gumdrops, but we also like to see somebody kicked off the top. And it's like, because he's done nothing to me that is like, he hasn't been like abusive to anybody. Exactly. It's not like any personal horror show stories are coming out. He just fucked a lot of chicks. That's all he did.
But he wasn't going to be kicked off the top anytime soon. And it's, I mean, a lot of people around him had to know this was going on. Mm-hmm. It's just that he is a completely different person than what he has been portrayed. Yeah. That's why this is so fascinating beyond the normal story of this type, right?
Yeah. And now witnesses saying that they told troopers Woods might have been drinking. Witnesses were told a state trooper.
Oh, okay. I'm
sorry. Scene of the accident that Woods might have been tipping back a few.
Well, the wife was saying that he was drinking earlier in the day. I think we got the news story there. It's a good little seg right there, Ed. Good little seg.
There are new reports that Tiger Woods may have been drinking before he crashed.
We hate this guy.
Why do we only get this guy?
We hate this guy.
He's one of the AP guys.
Yeah.
So it's like the AP work is divvied up between like him and another guy. So if you're watching an AP's video story, chances are it's narrated by this guy or the other guy.
He almost sounds like Hank Hill. Like he's just short of sounding like Hank Hill.
There are new reports that Tiger Woods may have been drinking before he crashed his SUV outside his home the day after Thanksgiving. A Florida trooper who suspected Woods was driving under the influence sought a subpoena for the golfer's blood results from the hospital, but prosecutors rejected the petition. According to a police report issued Monday, a witness told Trooper Joshua Evans that Woods had been drinking alcohol before the crash. That same witness said Woods had been prescribed Ambien and Vicodin. The report does not say who the witness was, but it added the witness was the same person who pulled Woods from the vehicle after the crash. Woods' wife, Elin, has told police that she used a golf club to smash the back windows out of the SUV and help her husband out.
Yeah, I know. I really want to know what was going on with that golf club thing.
Yeah, the golf club, the mom out there.
What happened? No, I didn't have it set up.
I love how distressed she sounds. It's just so goddamn funny.
Yeah. Where is it?
What happened?
Well.
What happened? Oh, God love him.
You know what, though? In such like a wealthy neighborhood that Tiger lives in, don't you think it's kind of odd that no like surveillance video has surfaced of the actual accident?
You would think
most people,
I'm
sure they have cameras all around the neighborhood.
Tiger buried his footage, so now you got to hope a neighbor's footage is, hitting the street.
Well, that's just it. It's all over.
Mm-hmm.
It's all over the place.
Maybe in between security cameras is where the crash was. Maybe it's one of those unlucky things.
I don't know.
How far from the house was it? Was it literally across the street?
No, it was further down the road than I thought.
A
couple houses down.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, a couple houses down, and then she went over there with the golf cart and a club. And
but God, it's I guess the official number's up to 10.
Yeah, we just crossed the 10 mark.
They're also reporting that he wasn't using bags. And a few of these women.
Wow.
Wonderful.
He just gets better and better.
I wasn't using bags.
Wow. That is something. You talk about wanting to maybe...
One slipperoo will cost you millions and millions of dollars.
They were hoping that golden sperm swimming up their vag canals. Just gold.
And they're also reporting that Rachel got a nice payday, the one broad.
Yeah?
I'm calling her the main broad.
That was the one that got the lawyer and met with...
Gloria.
Yeah.
What's her last name?
Ball cutter.
Gloria.
All red is what she tells us, but ball cutter's the real version.
Yeah. Is that why she always wears red?
Oh, I didn't even notice, did she? I hate her so much.
She
I can't
always wears red.
And then, she apparently met with Tiger's lawyer and...
She supposedly got $2 to $3 million, and supposedly she's got a lot of emails, a lot of text messages, and now these whores are all fighting among themselves because they all thought that they were the main whore, and it's unbelievable. It really is unbelievable.
The main whore.
I think she's the main whore, and then you got the lesser whores.
Peripheral whores.
I think the Perkins waitress is the lesser whore.
Satellite whores.
She was fucking ugly, man.
Yeah?
They were doing a montage of whores last night, and the Perkins waitress, holy shit, what a mess.
Really? Not that good?
Not a drastic drop-off.
And as Jimmy Norton said and pointed out, and I took a note of immediately, all white broads.
He lives in a white world. There's no surprise there. Come on.
Like, you might want to dip in. There are white guys that want to dip into a little chocolate action.
You know what? I bet you there is black broads, but you know what? I bet you the black broads don't talk. That's my guess.
Are you shitting me?
I'm thinking
the black first ones opening their yap that they want cash.
Because they want their payday?
Oh, hell yeah.
It depends.
I'm getting paid, motherfucker.
Well, if it's a black Perkins waitress, sure, she's yapping.
I'm getting paid. These white bitches all getting money? I'm getting paid, bitch.
You know what? You're right. I can't even argue that.
I have money to get my herd in.
I can't even argue that. You are correct.
He just digs the white broads. Always has, I guess, huh?
All right. At 6:17 a.m., MSNBC.com reporting woman rushed from Tiger Woods' home. All right. Is that true? Do we have breaking news on this damn thing?
What?
Do we have breaking news on the Tiger Woods thing?
Rushed from? No way.
Huh?
No way.
No way, no how.
Oh, I might have seen something. Woman rushed to hospital from Tiger's Florida home.
Get the fuck out of here.
It says it on MSNBC's breaking news.
I bet it's his mom who's fucking stressed.
What happened?
What happened?
Donald.
Female adult.
Oh, it could be the mom. Donald from Detroit, thank you for the breaking news alert there.
Removed by firefighters on advanced life support after firefighters received call at 2:36 a.m. Adult female. Radio log shows adult female was transported to Health Central Hospital. Footage obtained appeared to show a blonde woman on a stretcher being attended to by emergency services.
Holy shit! What is going on? This is
wait. He's only got a $2.6 million house. That's all that fucking.
That's it.
Yeah.
Oh, down there in Florida, it's probably a lot cheaper.
Yeah, but he's got houses all over the world, though.
Dude, this story is taking some wacky turns.
This story could turn out to be bigger than fucking OJ. I'm saying it right now. I'm saying it right now. I'm saying it right now.
Who's the blonde bitch on the fucking stretcher?
What else is it saying?
I don't think it's his mom.
Oh, by the way, where's my fucking news clip?
See what his mom looks like.
Hold on, Anthony. We got to make people understand that we're not eight TVs. Once again, 8 TVs. No one is reporting this yet.
Opie and Anthony, your source for legitimate, up-to-the-minute, late-breaking, fair and balanced, hard-hitting, painfully accurate news.
There you go. Once again, we got the scoop.
Apparently,
what else is it saying in that article, Ant?
That was about it. Apparently, at about 2:30 this morning, Eastern time, a blonde woman was seen being rushed to the hospital from Tiger Woods' house, and she was on advanced life support.
What is advanced life support? That doesn't sound good.
Means oxygen, perhaps even the
defibrillators,
fucking electrodes on her, maybe some IVs. I don't know. Advanced life support. Figure it out, I guess. Wow. Is he now fucking women to death? Is he just... What is going on?
I think the wife is just out of her mind. Like, she had no clue. Had no clue. And the amount of women coming forward is just...
That's humiliating.
Is getting to her to a point where she just can't handle it.
Is that you speculating completely, Dan?
Complete speculation.
Oh, yeah, I know. Well, no one could say that, though.
Well, you could speculate.
I mean, that's great speculation.
From what home? Like, he has 2 homes. Is it his house where he had the accident?
Well, the
one where the wife moved to, or
my first thought was, and maybe other people's was, that it was of course the wife is humiliated. She takes pills or something. Would a wife do that when she's got 2 kids? Don't forget she's a mother too. It's like that doesn't make sense either.
That's true. Wow, that just in. Boy, the Tiger story just... Boy, does this have legs, huh?
It's amazing.
Holy shit.
You're supposed to kind of get in front of a story.
Yeah.
and he has with a shovel and just thrown it at people. Maybe he just knows that... there's nothing. He might, I bet, look, who knows? There could be all, like, fucking 30 girls.
Yeah.
I'm going to guess this. No matter how many girls come out, there's a couple who can't because they're married too.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, they want to keep it quiet.
Yeah.
Could you see if he's like a fucking serial killer and there's bodies in his basement?
I'm just trying to find out if my girlfriend can somehow lie and say she was in Florida.
Yes.
And fucked him. So just get 50 grand.
Oh, my God. Wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah.
Yeah, just 50 grand. Me a bag of shells.
All right, wait. This guy will explain what advanced life support is. Hold on. Where's my phones here today? Let's go to Chris in New York. Hi, Chris.
Hey, what's going on, fellas? Good morning.
Good morning.
Hey.
All right, look, advanced life support can be a pretty broad term. All that really means is paramedics were called and set to interact. Could be anything from what you guys said, the heart monitor, to IVs, medications pushing the IVs. To give you a broad sense of the term, Michael Jackson was on advanced life support.
Well, we see how that worked out for him, so.
Yeah, that's a good example.
Right.
You see, someone like, Michael Jackson.
That's great.
He was on advanced life support till there was no more life.
Wait, is there something called just life support?
Yeah, that's usually what they do. All
right, hold on. Let's just do the ABCs here. So what's the difference between life support and advanced life support?
Life support, oxygen, monitoring vital signs, things like that. Advanced life support, pushing medications, steroid-induced medications that keep your heart beating.
Interesting.
What the
Interesting.
Thank you, sir. We got Christy in Missouri. Christy.
Hey.
Hey.
I don't know what that last kid was saying. I guess he apparently is Dr. Cool, but advanced life support usually includes also the breathing machine or the ventilator.
Yeah.
Advanced life support, yes, it does include also the IV giving you drugs, also where they're having to breathe for you.
Yeah.
So it's not just oxygen and EKGs and Jimmy, we will see you Saturday night in Kansas City.
Oh, good. I'll see you then, sweetheart.
Kansas City.
Hell yeah, we'll be there.
Nice.
All right, this is breaking news, but a blonde woman rushed from Tiger Woods' home around, 2:30 this morning?
Yeah.
Eastern time?
Tiger must have just...
On advanced life support, by the way, yeah.
Just stand there going like, what the fuck is happening to my life here?
I need an ambulance. Of course you do.
Yeah.
He was on top of the world a mere month ago.
Oh, shit.
Who broke this story? The Inquirer?
Which one?
Was it?
Like, what started
this? Yeah,
hold on. This didn't come out of the blue. I mean, the more and more I read about it.
Fucking blue!
They had Tiger back in 2007. So this has been around for a couple of years. And there's been secret deals being made, so it didn't come out back in 2007. And then I guess they just couldn't hold back the floodgates anymore, and the damn thing burst. You know?
Wow. Tiger, I'm coming to your house, man. Don't you bring no OD and fucking Puma over my house. You suck it up and take it to a fucking hospital. Lance, I'm coming over. Fucking Tiger. Come over to Tiger's house.
Eileen wants in. Everyone is mad about the advanced life support definition we got today.
Jesus Christ. Everyone's got a different...
Eileen.
Hi.
Hi. What do you got on this?
I just got out of work. I'm actually an EMT in Stamford, Connecticut. My partner is a paramedic. Advanced life support simply means that the paramedic was in back with the patient. It doesn't necessarily have to mean they were on any sort of ventilator or any sort of medication. It just means the paramedic was attending to them in the back. Advanced life support versus basic life support, which is an EMT.
This sounds like a house of horror.
Orange County.
It's different in every state and every county, but advanced is just a paramedic, and basic is not a paramedic.
Right.
Radio logs showed that an adult female was transported to Health Central Hospital. The log also showed also showed a patient refusal and then an advanced life support patient. A patient refusal and then an advanced life support patient.
Does that mean two people?
I don't know. Neighbors at Tiger Woods have said the increasing number of alleged affairs led the professional golfer, the wife, to move out. Number of women up to 10. It doesn't really say anything else. Is that the female? Is that a video of the female?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure that out.
Could just be a...
She looks like she hooked up to some shit.
Oh, really?
Look.
We're on the right?
Yeah.
Holy shit. shit.
Let's see what
Get
this
that
is.
fucking... Thank you.
All right. I can't tell.
Yeah, you can't tell. I mean, it's definitely a blonde.
Tell.
It certainly could be his wife.
Female rush from Tiger.
What is going on?
Dude, this is just the most bizarre fucking shit.
Started with a dumb fucking breaking news alert that Tiger was in a car accident, and now we're at this point.
What happened?
What happened?
Oh my
We don't know yet, Mrs. Tiger Woods' mom.
What the fuck?
You can't really see, but it could be.
I gotta make this
wife.
statement.
It could be.
I gotta make this statement.
Yeah.
Everything you know is wrong in this world.
That's
Everything you know is wrong. Holy shit. Now what do we do?
You won't believe what you don't know about Tiger Woods. Mind control. Tiger Woods was near the HARP project.
Was he?
He should have worn tinfoil on his head.
Dummy.
Wow.
And cause, like, you know how it is when you fuck girls or whatever, like, you know your relationship with them. He's going over every moment with these girls going, that fucking bitch.
Yeah.
I can't believe she's coming. Like, some girls you'd expect.
I gotta disagree with you. He looks like he wasn't being careful.
Well, no.
But you're still annoyed that they're coming forward, though. Like, you're probably like, what the fuck?
Yeah, you got to be annoyed a little bit, but it looks like he didn't give a shit if he got caught. I mean, the amount of women and the situations. I mean, he's hanging out in VIP rooms where people could see him coming and going, and
probably felt untouchable, dude. He probably felt like, for so long he's doing it. He's still the, that squeaky clean image and everything, and there
Jimmy,
it is.
Like, you expect a Perkins waitress to keep her mouth shut?
No, but I'm saying you go
You know
over,
what I mean?
like, the time I kissed her in the car, or like all these moments you had, and then you just probably get angrier.
Right.
Because, she's not just number 8 to you. She's like, oh yeah, that chick that I talked to.
Now
It's
Fox
like
is
annoying.
reporting.
All right, now, see, we beat Fox, though. Let the record show we beat Fox to this
in the
story.
hospital.
Oh, my God.
Unbelievable, man. I wonder if all this shit started happening after his dad died. Like, his father kind of kept him, I think, really kept him in check for a lot of years.
His father died.
Say some of these affairs are 3 years old?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. No, they're saying 5.
5, really?
Oh, yeah. They're saying pretty much some of these started while he was just getting married. I mean, what to believe, because, I mean, some of these facts just can't be 100% correct.
I am guessing that it's his mom. I don't care what they said about blonde woman. I am guessing it's his mom had some kind of stress.
What was that video?
I think the blonde. Can you see a blonde woman?
Yeah,
unless they put a blonde wig on Tiger's mom to.
Oh, was there a blonde hair in the video
to throw everyone off? Let's say hi to Pete in Florida. Pete.
Hey, maybe it's a murder-suicide.
Can you imagine if it's a murder-suicide?
Oh, my God.
Could you imagine?
Jesus, no way. That would be complete OJ territory.
That's what I'm saying. Next one up is Tim Tebow.
Yeah. Let's
He'll be crying all over it, too.
Everything we know is wrong, I'm telling you. You can't believe shit out there. Thank you, sir.
All right, punch it out. Have a great day.
All right, we got McFly in Jersey. McFly.
Breaking news. Spaghetti sushi. Oh, shit. I blew it. Punch it out.
All right.
And then what is this on TMZ?
What?
The whole Tiger Woods admitted to hospital as OD. It says that Tiger Woods was admitted to Health Central Hospital the day after Thanksgiving as an overdose. Sources connected to the hospital tell TMZ the admission chart lists OD and that he was having trouble breathing. We're told the 5th floor of the hospital was put on lockdown when Tiger arrived. Tiger was admitted under the alias William Smith. His wife,
that's a hell of an alias.
Was by his side.
Hold on, slow down. That's the worst alias ever. Will Smith.
Will Smith.
Yeah, that's going to throw everyone off.
Will Smith. As first reported, Elin, what's her name? Elin gave paramedics 2 pill bottles at the accident scene. And now we know they were Ambien and Vicodin. Tiger was in and out of consciousness, snoring at the scene. Clearly appeared to be under the influence of something, not alcohol. We're told the doctors used a breathing tube to assist his respiration. We're also told hospital officials changed Tiger's alias after a few hours to another alias because they feared people would find out he was there. What did they change it to? Denzel Washington?
Thank you. Yeah.
Jay Nicholas.
Wow, this story's getting fuckeder and fuckeder.
It's fucked up.
So that's two news stories. That one broke at about 1 a.m.
All right.
That Tiger Woods is admitted to hospital thing. And then at 6:20 a.m., we got the rescue call to Tiger's house. Blonde woman. Let's see. An ambulance reportedly raced to Tiger Woods' block in Windermere, Florida overnight and transported someone to the hospital.
Yeah, but ambulances, that's what they do.
They just race.
They race to locations.
Orange County fire officials confirmed that a rescue call came in at 2:36 from the home on Deacon Circle. They would not confirm that it was Tiger's home. They wouldn't confirm, but let's see. WKMG is reporting that a blonde woman in a black Escalade followed the ambulance from Deacon Circle to Health Central Hospital. The same hospital that treated Tiger the night of the accident. Story developing.
Wait, so now there's a blonde following?
A blonde following in a black Escalade. Followed the ambulance to the hospital.
But they said they took a blonde out of there.
Yeah. I don't know.
What the fuck is going on?
Oh, my God.
Maybe
Mr. Simpson left his Brentwood home.
The blonde that they rushed to the hospital is probably a girl that was hiding in the closet.
In the closet?
And
Tiger.
I've never had a chance to get out of there, so now she's just famished.
She's starving to death. They had to get her there. And then the Escalade is being driven by the wife who stole it.
A.K.A. Al Cowlings at this point.
Al Cowlings.
A.K.A.
My God.
Wait, I got a good phone call coming in from Chuck in Boston. Chuck, how are you, buddy?
Chuck?
Look, I'm really worried, guys. With all these new allegations, I think we need the insightful thoughts of Jim C.
I don't know if Jim C is around today. That could give a little...
Probably.
What would Jim C have to do with it? No one's dead.
No one's dead.
No. Yeah, but Jim C knows a lot about codeine overdoses. Let's not forget.
He took some Ambien, Sam. He had a pounding erection, and he couldn't go duty because of the Vicodin.
Hey, Jim C!
He had the pubic hair of 8 different white girls in his hat. And his mother was yelling, "What happened? I thought it was you, Sam."
Wow. Now we'll get to the bottom of it.
We're getting an exclusive from Jim C.
I put his pills in the pocket of my members-only jacket.
Do you remember one of the girls' names that he was...
Abigail! Abigail was a beautiful girl being given an Ambien overdose and a vagina full of billionaire semen.
Abigail.
I stopped the punk rock concert.
You sure did.
Boy, Tiger is part of some sick society.
He sure is.
All right, I got something on this. I'm figuring this out. So there's 2 houses in the area, right? So his wife, Tiger's wife, is at one house. You got a 2 blonde situation thing. You know that Tiger's wife is a twin. And I know the mom flew into town. Maybe the mom and the sister flew into town.
Oh, Tiger's mom.
They're watching Tiger's soon-to-be ex-wife. She says, fuck this. This is just me speculating. Says, fuck this, take some pills. And now the sister's like, holy shit, my sister took some pills, calls 911. They got the blonde on the stretcher on advanced life support, and following in the fucking car is the twin sister. That's my theory.
Could be.
That is my stupid 2 cents.
Well, there's speculation that Tiger was fucking the mom. Wouldn't put it past this guy.
I know.
Holy shit. How is he going to... I know, it's not golf season or anything, but how the fuck is he going to step out there on that first tee and just fucking... and tee off?
I don't know.
And with all this shit going on.
As long as nothing comes out about violence, or I'm telling you, as long as it's just him fucking a lot of girls.
Dude, this is crazy, though, now, because now it's past it, because now there's this ambulance situation.
Yeah, this is
what the fuck is going on?
The country. I mean, they're hating him, which is whatever. It's whatever. But as far as sponsorships go, that's not good. He's going to start losing sponsorships.
Yeah, probably at this point. But
I mean, not the big ones. Probably they're going to, stand by him. But I'm with Anthony. How does he get on that first tee?
How does he?
Unless he
get
just
out there?
refuses to talk to anybody. Says,
But,
look,
dude,
tells the PGA, look, you want me to play? Still, I'll play, but I ain't talking to nobody.
Fuck even
anytime
refusing
soon.
to talk to anybody. Sitting there, you don't think there's going to be taunts from the crowd?
No,
and his game just, I don't even mean like people talking to the press. How do you just get up there in front of everybody now, first time in public, no one's seen hide nor hair of this motherfucker, and then get out and try to drive a fucking ball?
Have you ever been to a golf tournament?
No.
I've been to a few. And, man, I mean, the gallery could be obnoxious. Like, Phil Mickelson. It was the U.S. Open. I think it was Bethpage, matter of fact, a few years back. It just happened to be his birthday on one of the days of the tournament. They sang Happy Birthday the entire time he walked around the course, because every time he walked another 100 yards, it was a brand new fucking gallery. He had to hear Happy Birthday sung to him for 4.5 straight hours.
Just lucky. Driving balls into the fucking crowd.
So just imagine what they would do when Tiger Woods plays his first tournament, these animals.
Yeah.
Because it's a different crowd that goes to golf tournaments now.
It's
not your dad's game anymore. It's a
Happy
younger
Gilmore
sport.
crowd.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
To a certain extent.
Fuck. He is just going to get chewed up.
If I was Tiger, I would grow my hair out for the next few months, get a fucking gnarly, horrible beard.
Just completely change your look.
Wear a hat that says white pussy on it when you play golf.
Right. Just a skull and crossbones hat. Step out on the first tee. Say, this is my new look, motherfuckers.
Just surround himself with Nation of Islam people. Yeah. The little red bow ties.
That's all.
Maybe he could go that route.
We might have the new Muhammad.
Yeah.
He will, no, I think that, as long as nothing else comes out, like, as long as it's not dirty sex or anything creepy
Jimmy,
like that.
you're hanging in there way too long.
Because I'm telling you.
You're hanging in there way too long. I was with you for a while, but now I'm like,
he has to
what else do you want to see happen here?
I don't know why he hasn't, not that he owes an explanation, but just to stop the story because of sponsorships and to keep it from getting out of
He
hand.
ain't talking, which is making it worse.
Which means it's stuff, there might be so much more that he knows.
That's what I'm saying.
Pop out.
And stopping the story at this point is stepping in front of a boulder rolling down a mountainside. It's past the point of getting in front of the story.
And now it makes sense why he's not talking, because he has a lot of people around him. I mean, we're a dopey radio show. When we get in trouble, we huddle with people that are like, all right, we need to do this, and
damage control,
whatever. Thank you, Anthony. But with Tiger Woods, can you imagine the people around him for damage control? And he's not talking?
Yep.
That means there's some more shit out there.
He's probably just a bunch of girls. He probably wants to get it somehow squashed. He's probably trying to squash a lot of fires quietly before they hit the press. That's what I would guess.
Oof.
And I stepped into some shit about 10 years ago when we were doing a radio show in Boston, and it's looking like Tiger is one of these athletes. More speculation on my part, that he has a broad in every city. We know a very famous sports star in Boston that we just happened to be privy to something.
Dr. J?
And we were able to hear numerous voicemails of this person, and he had broads in every fucking city.
Yeah.
Tiger's one of those guys, I'm starting to think.
Yeah, we were able to listen in.
So how many cities does this, PGA go to? How many events does he play in? That's probably about the number it's going to be at.
You think?
That's my guess.
Different girl in every port.
I say the number's definitely. I say the number definitely is 20.
20 chicks.
Mm-hmm. We're at 10. It ain't stopping here.
He's just a
because now you got all these
animal.
You got all these whores. They're now jealous and pissed off that all the other whores are getting attention. So they're going to start crawling out.
He loves
more
it.
and more.
Loves that pussy.
Let's say hi to Greg on Long Island.
Pussy.
Greg.
How you doing? I just want to correct a couple of your callers that called about the life support definition.
Sure.
Life support is what Anthony paid. Advanced life support is what Tiger is going to pay.
That's funny. That's funny. Good one, sir. That didn't get the laugh it deserved. We all just nodded kind of like, guys, got a good point.
I kind of like it. Thank you. Good job, brother. Let's go to Paul in Buffalo. Paul.
Yeah, what do you want?
Oh, Uncle Paul.
Hey, tattletales.
Morning. Listen, what's more important than advanced life support or basic life support is when they left the scene, did the ambulance have its lights on? Protocols are different. Up here in Buffalo, it's one thing. Down there, it's another. It could have been one too many cocktails. It doesn't need to be. But, and a patient refusal, somebody was there, they were sick, they were offered treatment, and they said, we don't want anything. But there were definitely more than one patient there. But
so there's a couple of people that something was amiss. One refused treatment, the other one went.
That's correct.
Jesus. And now someone else is saying maybe it's Tiger Woods with a blonde wig on.
Oh, get the fuck out of here.
Have a good day.
All right, man.
God damn.
Yeah, Kenny wrote that. Yeah, all right. Let's say hi, James in Nova Scotia.
Good morning, boys. Happy birthday, Jimmy. It's your favorite air traffic controller. How you doing?
Oh, fucking A. We love this guy. What's up, James?
Sir. I'm just wondering, is Nike going to try to get Mistress 11 and 12 to come out before the end of the year so they can mark on a calendar for 2010?
That's a good calendar.
Yeah.
The Girls of Tiger. Yep.
Hey, if anyone has talent out there, you do a 12 Days of Christmas with Tiger Woods and his broads. That thing would go. That thing would go viral. I'm telling you.
Yeah. Hey, listen. They found out the cause of that Northwest thing, eh?
What? Oh, the overshoot.
Apparently, when the guy was on the mic, his co-pilot was eating grapes, and he took offense to it. You know, boys, have a good day.
Bye, mister.
All right, on, James. Let's say hi to Ron. Ron.
People.
How you doing, Opie and Anthony, and little Jimmy? Happy birthday.
Hey, buddy.
My wife did a quick joke. She said, yeah, there's going to be more girls coming out. He's used to playing 18 holes.
Wow. That would be ironic if it was 18.
Yeah, that's why we're all happy when the number was at 9, because, we could all relate to playing 9. Yeah. Now 10. I mean, that messes everything up.
Now it's the back 9.
Now we're starting the back 9.
Oh, ow.
Let's say hi to Larry King. It's a pleasure,
Larry?
What do you got?
Tiger, how important is the advanced life support to your sexual practices?
All right. Larry.
And we go to Drew in Virginia. Drew?
The way this guy is going, boys, should we expect to see Tiger Woods in the 2011 homo shopping spree?
Boy, that would be a pretty big fall.
It's not good. It's not good. Oh, I'm sorry, brother. We got a young golf fan on the line. Andrew in Philly. He's 26 years old. What do you got, Andrew?
How you doing this morning?
Pretty good.
First off, Jimmy made the trek up from Philly to New York on Saturday to see a Caroline's. Great show as always.
Thank you. Smart move.
Anyway, yeah, I'm a 26-year-old golf fan, and I got to say this whole Tiger thing makes me like him a little bit more.
Yep.
Always thought he was, very stoic, holier-than-thou attitude, and this shows that he's human and that he has wants and needs like everybody else.
I agree, man. And in a way, as long as nothing disgusting comes out like he was in a kid's, which I'm sure, I'm sure that's nothing like that.
No.
He's just a guy. The highest profile athlete on the planet is fucking a lot of girls, and this fucking fruity society is surprised.
No,
I can't believe he'd fuck all those girls.
It's all well and good, but in the world he lives in, it's unacceptable as far as sponsorship money and all that goes.
Unacceptable,
but that's why it's going to be a problem.
It's phony,
of course it shouldn't be a problem.
It's phony. The whole outrage is phony. People are jealous of this guy. Again, everyone looks at every girl and goes, yep, I know why he fucked her. Yep, know why he fucked her.
This show, and we're going to talk about it probably in the next break, the Jersey Shore. They already lost their second sponsorship.
The show is not going to make it because, again,
but I'm just saying they're losing sponsorship because of that. I mean, come on. The Tiger Woods sponsorship thing is in trouble.
And this fucking this bitch was a nasty thing.
I know, we're going to get into
it. It really annoys me.
And Anthony saw the show now. It's going to be...
Oh, yeah.
We're going to do a little Jersey Shore action in a bit.
Come on. Situation.
I just want to make sure we got this story covered. Let's go to Mike in Tennessee. Mike?
How we doing, boys?
Hey.
O&A drove his mother-in-law to have a heart attack, according to the Monsters on Channel 152.
What's that?
According to what?
According to the Monsters on Channel 152. They said he drove his mother-in-law to have a heart attack. That's what they're reporting in Orlando.
Oh, his mother-in-law. The Monsters are in Florida.
Wait, which not Tiger's mom?
Maybe not his mother-in-law.
Oh, mother-in-law. Okay. Hard to understand the accent. I'm sorry.
Thank you, ma'am.
Well, let's see if that's true. That would explain a bunch of things. Dave in Connecticut, I think Tiger and all these girls should be on the Jersey Shore season 2.
Yeah, right.
The phones are just out of control. I think we covered it for now.
Yeah, I'm trolling for info, too.
Trust me, as soon as we got new info, we'll pop it. No problem.
Amazing.
Wow, we were just going to give you a little Tiger update.
They just...
So much shit going on.
Why are people shocked? My image of Tiger is that he was this pure athlete and this great golfer. But I never thought this guy... I mean, I'm a little surprised, like, oh, wow, I wouldn't have thought he was fucking all these chicks. But that's where my surprise ends. Like, it doesn't make me feel outraged or like him less. Or like why? But people react that way. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. How do you not understand that a 33-year-old, high-profile, one of the most gifted athletes on the earth, fucks a lot of girls? What's wrong with us as a country that we don't get that?
I do agree with you. I just think it's a great story, though. I'm like, wow, I want to know some shit about this, but it's not.
Well, it's not ending, is what it is.
I was bummed when this whole thing first hit, because I am a big golf fan, and I'm a big Tiger Woods fan. When it first hit, and they said he was in serious condition after a car accident, I was really bummed, because I'm like, fuck, I really like watching this guy play.
I thought it was on the highway.
And I'm a golf fan. That's when I was bummed, because I'm like, wow, that will affect... him ever playing again.
Yep.
Now it's just a good story. And I'm not affected by it.
And now it's just some crazy shit going down.
Like, wow.
Amazing.
Letterman had some fun with this last night.
Did he?
I like the fact Letterman addresses this stuff with his own life.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's, the old glass house. Ho, ho.
Yeah.
Boy, it looks like that Tiger Woods is having some trouble, huh?
Fucking Letterman.
You know what, I was thinking if this thing had happened 3 months ago, I'd have material for a year. I used to think golf was boring.
Right.
Were you? I have never seen such a media firestorm. It's a huge, you know what I mean? It's like a wildfire. It's gone crazy. I mean, there's nothing this big since, my gay kiss with Adam Lambert.
Oh, yeah.
Really? Do you remember that? Oh. President Obama is sending troops to Afghanistan. Well, hell, he ought to be sending them to Tiger Woods' house. You know what I mean? I wish he would stop calling me for advice.
Let me say hi to John in Alabama. John, what do you got?
Hi, John.
Hello.
Hey, John. What's up, John?
How you doing, boys?
Pretty good, buddy.
Hey, just a little tidbit of information. I don't know how much y'all know about his father and his mother's history, but his dad didn't live with his mom for 10 years. I think that Tiger learned from the old man, if you catch my drift.
You're saying it.
Oh, yeah. They didn't live together.
Catch my drift.
Yeah. I think his father was fucking everybody, if you catch my drift. Yes, we do, sir.
There's a hell of a drift.
Yes. Threw it like a bomb.
As a side note, I wonder how John Daly feels about this. This is going to take all his press from him.
Yeah, man, everyone thought John Daly was the bad boy of golf.
Yep.
All right, Tiger's making him look like an amateur. Who knew?
Woods backed over a fire hydrant and ended up hitting a tree, and they found him passed out in the street in his underpants. Well, hell, who hasn't done that? I mean, come on. Really? But they're saying now his endorsements may be in jeopardy. They're saying, he's on the Wheaties box. He's on the box of the Wheaties. And they say he may no longer be on the box of Wheaties. And I was thinking, well, my God, if he's actually this active, maybe he deserves to be on the Wheaties box. Yeah, not much else I can say.
A couple things I'm thinking, too. I think a sponsorship drops today for the sole purpose of getting major exposure across the world.
You know something?
Because Ashley
that is
Madison,
a good move. You're right.
Ashley Madison was brilliant. They came out quick and said, "Look, we'll give Tiger Woods $5 million if they endorse our site, which is a site where you're trying to pick up broads if you're married, right?"
Yeah.
And of course, Tiger would never do that. But that story went everywhere that Ashley Madison was offering the $5 million, and they got millions and millions of dollars worth of free marketing for their company. So if I was one of these sponsors, I would drop today. You would drop them. You would get attention everywhere, and then if you don't really have, you don't really want to drop Tiger, you wait a couple months and you go, all right, now we're gonna, we're back with Tiger.
Yeah,
things are okay, but it'd be a great shot of publicity for whoever does that.
Hell yeah.
There's one more. Oh yeah, Jimmy, someone mad at you here. John in North Carolina.
Morning, boys.
Hey.
Jimmy, you're saying you don't understand why there's such shock and outrage, and I understand the guy's cheating because there's gorgeous women throwing themselves at him, but why everybody's mad is there's kids involved. I mean, Ope and Aunt, you guys have family with, nieces and nephews. You'd be pretty pissed if someone in your family did the same thing.
No, I'm not talking about the family, his family. I'm talking about, look at other high-profile athletes. And the way the public is so self-righteously acting like they have no idea. That's what's driving me nuts. That's probably one of the reasons that would push the cheating farther. They say it's harder to look at a woman once she's given birth to your kids, especially if maybe you're into something a little bit, kinkier, as this sexual object, because you start to see her as the mother of your kids. A lot of men have said that. So that makes me understand it even more, is that he's looking at her maybe as the mom of his kids. So it's a little bit harder to look at her sexually. I mean, come on, man. That makes it more understandable.
It happens.
I'm not saying it's right, or I don't understand why his wife is pissed, but the way the fucking whole country is acting like they can't believe it makes me sick.
Oh, I'm shocked.
No. I mean, Jimmy, I understand what you're saying, but I think that's the biggest thing is it's kids involved. I mean, people weren't even as mad at Letterman. His son's a little bit older, but he had been single for so long and had so many girlfriends, whereas Tiger has never had this, so they're just blown away.
Plus different images. Letterman's a comedian. Letterman addressed it pretty quick, and I think Letterman knew that there wasn't nearly as much that could come out. It was just two women, and shitty, but here's the story.
Yeah. Hey, Jimmy.
Yes, sir.
You're a disgusting individual, and I love you.
Thank you, sir. Please don't be mad.
I just keep going back to the fact that his image was squeaky fun.
That's
clean, man. I mean, if you look at other athletes, there's a less of a surprise. But with this Tiger Woods, he was like a quote perfect human being. Like he had everything in his life, and he was playing it perfectly.
That's why there was nothing on him.
He barely got mad during the game.
Like, oh, look, here he is with his wife and the kids
with the
now.
Perfect family.
It's wonderful, Tiger, and he's just fucking like a madman.
But can I tell you something?
Completely different than what we saw on TV.
If they had gone through a high-profile divorce, let's just say he never cheated, and then went through a high-profile divorce, and let's just say his wife came out and said he's into being tied up and whipped and fucked with a strap-on and called a girl, the public would have jumped on that. The same way they did with Oscar De La Hoya. Anything that's personal like that, people jump on.
He could have actually denied that, though, and gone like, oh, my God. Get his lawyer out in front of it and go, she's coming up with these allegations that are just preposterous.
Say there was video.
But when you got,
say there was video.
How much?
The salacious nature of that, people would go, well, he's not the guy I thought he was. People would say, he's not the guy I thought he was. Same thing about De La Hoya. He was a straight guy who just, look. But look what it did to De La Hoya. There was no allegation of cheating, no shocking athlete, and there was something shocking about his sexual life.
It's safe to say, though, Tiger's one of the most recognizable people in the entire fucking world.
At least in Florida.
And the image that they portrayed, I keep going back to that. Michael Jordan got divorced because he was cheating. Was there incredible outrage? Not really.
No, Marv Albert, someone's bringing up?
Not really. We weren't.
It was shocking because it was like you didn't expect him to be the kind of guy that likes biting tits and leaving teeth marks in women's asses.
You got the impression with Tiger that you could just tussle his hair. He was like, "Oh, get over here, you!" Yeah. And to find out that this guy,
But he's not a man-child. He's a fucking man. You know what I mean? He's not like this cute boy who's grown up. He's a man.
they portrayed him as kind of a man-child.
Of course they did.
They portrayed him as very innocent. Portrayed him as a guy that didn't really have a normal childhood or a normal adolescence, even a normal college kid.
Guy's a prodigy sitting on top of $1 billion empire. He's a fucking... I have no problem with it as long as he didn't fuck any kids or animals or force anybody to do anything.
No kids.
No kids.
That's where I agree with you. I have no problem with it either. But I'm just telling you why I think people are just amazed by this fucking story.
Yeah,
I watch him play golf almost every Sunday when he's playing, and I can't explain to you. The commercials are all wholesome. When they interview him, he always says the right thing. He never trashes anybody. He barely throws a fit on the course. He's got the wife there, his mom there. You know, it was played out perfectly, with no kinks in the armor whatsoever.
At least, though, you know what? He made his $1 billion. He'll lose some endorsements. He'll get some more. At least he's made his money. It's like they can't. He's already achieved more than you could ever achieve in a life. What are they going to do? Take that from him?
He's got some, drug shit now coming out. With
I know, the
Vicodin and the drinking beforehand, and then the crash and the chicks. It's just, it does spell like, hey, we're going to take away some sponsors. Just some sponsors are going. Definitely.
Just because of the negative stuff around the name right now. Yeah, I'm sure you're right.
I think they have to. I think someone has to drop. And I think it happens today. Somebody drops today.
It better not be Nike.
What are his, what are some of his majors? What are some of his major sponsors?
Nike.
Obviously, Cadillac is a giant one for him. I think Buick also.
Buick, I believe. You're
Buick.
Right.
2 cars?
Yeah.
I believe so.
It's all General Motors, but...
Oh. I don't know. I guess Wheaties. I'm trying to remember, man.
Got EA Sports?
EA Sports, of course.
Oh, wow. The Tiger Woods game. We were talking about how interesting that has to get now.
That ain't going to change.
Come on, it's going to be like GTA.
Yeah.
Just smashing into trees.
That would rule.
Grabbing golf clubs, hitting people.
That would rule.
No, not Afro Sheen. People are just assholes.
All right, we'll take a break.
I made a mistake.
Terry Gilliam is here today.
Oh, I think you're saying he's here now.
No, he's going to be here at 8 o'clock. What's the name of the movie? I can't pronounce
It's oh, God, I don't have it in front of me. It's something Dr. I can't say it. But I watched half of it last night. It was so late. I put it on at like 12.
Ooh.
And I said, I have to see a few minutes of it. And it was fucking great. Heath Ledger's last movie.
Yeah.
And, it's fucking phenomenal when I saw it. I was so mad. I was just getting tired because I was up since 5.
He makes good movies.
Dude, Heath Ledger was so good. I was annoyed watching him.
Yeah.
I'm like, ugh. Jesus Christ. I would never be that good at anything as he was at acting.
AT&T. Accenture.
And they're just as bad at phones as Heath Ledger was at acting. It's amazing that the polar opposite of great acting is terrible phone service.
Gillette.
Gatorade.
Golf Digest.
NetJets. Nike Golf. Tag Heuer watches.
God,
Upper Deck.
Laser Ice Center. Upper Deck. Yeah, PGA Tour. Partner with PGA Tour. Wow, man.
Yeah, he gets a lot of money.
Who do you think drops first? Let's see.
It's got to be like just a kind of...
It ain't going to be EA.
Something like...
I don't think it's
Gillette.
AT&T.
Or AT&T. No, one of those ones that are not at all golf.
I'm going Gillette.
I would say...
I'm going Gillette. Gillette's an old school company. I would go Gillette.
Yeah, let's go Gillette.
Cousin Brucie's stopping by today.
What time?
Cousin Brucie's coming by too?
To talk about the music.
The music, man.
I don't know how I feel about Cousin Brucie coming in, because we trash like old school jocks. But maybe we listen today and go, please explain why that whole era was very important.
Yeah, we've talked about that before. It was kind of a whole different time, and
yeah, maybe we learned something today.
Totally different medium.
Yeah, I know. I want to understand it a little bit.
And he was one of the,
and he's actually
forefathers of that whole thing.
Yeah, he's actually a very cool guy. He's always been cool to us over the years, so he's coming by to promote his new book.
I understand guys like him and guys like Wolfman Jack, guys that were like legendary jocks.
Wolfman, I think, was different than Cousin Brucie. Wolfman definitely had more of a personality.
Wolfman was a little, He was,
he was
wild, but
I think he was a little
wilder
they all had
than
the rest of those guys.
They all had huge names, though, back then. They were like fucking,
why? That's
stars.
what we have to find out today.
It's kind of a new medium, a new way to spread that kind of music and shit that people were really passionate about. People don't give a shit now. They're just
I guess you gotta just
shut up and play the music is pretty much it. They kind of listened to what they said about the songs and the artists, because you couldn't just pop on the internet and look up your favorite band and shit. You kind of depended on those jocks to tell you about what was happening with the artists and shit like that. But I'm just speculating.
I think you're right.
But talking from here, 2009, it's hard to understand. You know what I mean?
Oh, fuck yeah.
But obviously it was a different time.
But they were the connection to this rebellious thing. It was like there was no other way to do it. There was no other voice for that, like, it sounds corny, but there was no other voice for that, like, young generation, because all you heard was Benny Goodman and your mom and dad's ideologies and stuff.
Yeah.
And then this young music comes up, and these are the guys that brought it to you.
Yeah. But they were just introing songs.
Yeah, but it was bigger than that.
Yeah, they were.
I know, that's what I need to find out.
They'd be at the live events, and
yeah, we got to find all that out today. It'll be good.
Watch him be really obnoxious and go, how the fuck do I know? Plug the book.
I would love that. I would love that.
So would I.
And I saw George Clooney's movie yesterday, Up in the Air.
Oh, what the fuck were you doing seeing that?
Because there's a buzz on the movie.
What?
Yeah.
Isn't it a chick flick?
I don't know.
Dude.
I don't think it is a chick flick. I don't know what it was.
Did your vagina itch during it? It was a chick flick.
It was on Rotten Tomatoes. It's getting like 96% positive.
Stop it.
And I don't know if I like the movie. I don't know what I saw.
Positive? What?
I don't know what I saw.
What did you see?
Maybe you could read the synopsis after the break. I'm trying to figure out this movie.
Because I'm thinking...
And Roland even he wrote me like, I saw Up in the Air. I love this movie. George Clooney should win an Oscar, blah, blah, blah. And he was the final straw where I said, okay, I'm going to go see this stupid movie that people are talking about. And I went yesterday, and I don't know what I saw. He's a guy that spends a lot of time traveling.
Yeah, that's all I saw in the commercial for it.
And he gets off on having all sorts of status.
What do you mean status?
Travel status.
Like frequent flyer miles?
All that stuff.
Like Jimmy?
All that stuff. Down to the hotels and what they offer, and knows how to pack, knows how to go through security. There was one funny scene where there's a security line, and he figures out which line to go on, and he chose the Asians. Because they pack light and they're very efficient.
All right.
But he showed like the family with the stroller. They showed the five guys that could have looked like they were Muslims. That would be pulled out of line.
Who put the movie out?
I don't know.
Like who's?
Hopefully not Lionsgate.
Is there a big director? I hope it's not Lionsgate either. Believe me.
I don't want to be on D-Boy shit list.
No.
Man.
Do you guys want to hear an interesting story about travel? I have to leave today to go to Los Angeles, and
yes,
I normally would pack my overnight bag. But because I'm going to be doing Wednesday and Friday on the Jay Leno show, and then going to Kansas City Saturday, I had to pack my bag that goes through security. So it's going to be a longer travel than anticipated. What's worse than somebody's fucking travel stories? Oh, they're terrible. They're never good unless I got blown in the toilet by a fucking stewardess. They're awful.
And Hoarders last night, there was a woman who hoarded her diapers. All right.
Dude.
Get to break. We got way too much radio.
I saw that one.
You saw that too?
Oh, I certainly did.
So let's do Hoarders, Jersey Shore, maybe a tiny little bit of Up in the Air after the break.
And
Is that good?
maybe as news comes in on this Tiger situation.
Yeah, you don't have to go anywhere. I mean,
we'll keep you updated.
We're popping news way before anyone else. For some reason, they're way fucking behind. I don't know what that's about. We'll have your breaking news right here. Opie and Anthony.
197 XM 202.
202. So we got the Tiger Woods info. It was first reported that a blonde woman was rushed on advanced life support from Tiger Woods' home.
Yeah.
Now there's all sorts of speculation that it might be Tiger's mother-in-law. Another speculation might be Tiger in a wig. I mean,
that's ridiculous.
But we do know someone was rushed to the hospital on advanced life support from Tiger Woods' home.
Yep.
By the way, unfortunately, because we're a bunch of assholes, a lot of people think we're just making this up.
No. Jesus, that's
my
true.
Twitter's like, is this one real or are you guys fucking around? No, it's real.
I can't even blame people, though.
Honestly, we're one of the first media outlets with the story, and now it's everywhere. So, I mean, you turn on your TV, you'll see it's there you go. There's a video on CNN.
Yeah.
And it looks like a blonde woman still on the stretcher that they're showing. So
it's Michael Caine from Dressed to Kill.
Dressed to Kill.
Imagine.
Bubby.
So we're waiting for more info on that. As soon as we have it, we'll definitely give it to you. You really don't need to go anywhere else because we're really proving lately that we get the news way before anyone else.
Yes.
We're right behind bloggers. The bloggers get it, and then us.
That's it.
CNN, Fox News, all of them. They're just way behind on these stories. I don't know what that's about.
We get to
Twitter,
talk to more people.
Twitter's just beating CNN, MSNBC, and Fox to these stories all the time now.
Yeah.
All the time. And Facebook and the rest of the social networking sites. What do we got, Ann? So we got, no one gives a shit about Up in the Air, so we can move on from that. But I do want to defend myself. I don't think it's a chick flick. It's just a very blah movie. I don't know why the reviewers love this movie so much.
Because you just said it. It's a blah movie and they're blah people.
From what I saw, it looked like him hooking up with some chick and talking like in that chick flick romantic comedy kind of way.
Boy, does that have a bit of a twist.
Oh, does it?
That I did not see coming, my friend.
Okay.
I'll say that much.
Well, maybe that makes it better.
You're not going to see this movie. Yeah. Jimmy won't see this movie.
I'll see it. You'd be surprised what I'll see.
Jimmy might see this movie on a flight or something.
I don't mind a Clooney movie every so often, even his stupid ones. But if this isn't a chick flick, I will see it. But if it is, oh boy, you'll have hell to pay.
I don't know.
Oh boy,
I don't know. I really don't know.
You vouch for this movie? You vouch for it?
Look, man, I can see a chick flick, by the way. I don't care. But I don't know if this is a chick flick.
I just hate
I don't search out chick flicks, but if there's one that's, what the fuck?
I just can't stand them. They're so dull, so incredibly dull. What is that goddamn movie that's out now with that fucking bore? Hugh Grant.
Is he the worst?
He's the worst.
There is not one movie with that guy in it that I could sit through. He is a bore.
He's a devil-may-care British boy. What a dullard.
Just the most dull fucking movies he's in.
Have you heard about the Morgans?
Have you heard about the Morgans?
With him and Sarah Jessica Parker.
Sarah Jessica Parker and Hugh Grant. Oh, joy. Let me run out and see this one.
You are absolutely correct. Was he ever in a movie that a guy cared about?
No. There isn't one movie this guy was in that wasn't just a crashing bore.
Here's one for you. And this is definitely a chick flick.
Yeah.
You got Steve Martin.
Oh, God.
You got that Meryl Streep.
Oh,
who's won a few awards.
Yep, the Christmas thing.
Alec Baldwin.
Baldwin.
That's the conflict. Because Alec Baldwin is hilarious in everything he fucking does. But he is definitely in a chick flick. Basically, he gets a divorce. He's with a young chippy.
Yeah.
He marries the young chippy. And now he's cheating on the young chippy with his ex-wife. If that doesn't say chick flick.
Oh.
I auditioned for that movie.
Did you really?
Yeah, that was the one. Remember I came in...
Were you supposed to be Alec Baldwin?
No, Meryl Streep. No, I auditioned for the part of a hospital doctor. It was one of the worst auditions I've ever done. I was so bad that I was like, can I redo that? And she's like, no, we'll just start it from in there. It was so bad.
They just knew.
Dude,
God.
I was atrocious.
You wanted to be a doctor in a show?
No, that was just the audition. And, and I'm like, Jonathan, I'm not a fucking hospital, hotel doctor. I'm sorry, hotel doctor. I'm like, that's not me. No one will buy that. Everyone else in the audition room was all hotel doctory, older men with ties. I had a Savage shirt on.
Doctory.
I was terrible.
Just a bad audition to go on.
Abysmal.
Well, what do you do? Because Alec Baldwin's great. Do you go and see that movie because Alec Baldwin?
You don't sit through that.
I don't think so either.
You don't sit through that.
I enjoyed Alec Baldwin in the preview.
Smug Steve Martin, and with his that stupid look on his face.
Yeah. And another one they had last night as one of the previews was Eli with Denzel Washington.
And what is that?
Another post-apocalyptic. One of those post the world has ended movies.
What happened to the world in this one?
I don't know.
Meteor, radiation,
Denzel Washington.
bombs?
It's called Eli. He's got some book that everybody wants.
Happy endings?
Yeah. And he fights him off with like karate.
Oh, karate.
Karate.
I remember.
And some cool fucking weaponry.
Yes.
And this is like, it's almost like Mad Max.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of Mad Max shit going on in that movie. It looks pretty cool, though.
I do remember hearing something about that.
It's called Eli. It's coming out soon. Hugh Grant in 9 months was watchable. That's the only movie.
No.
That's Puddle of AIDS.
No, nothing with Hugh Grant in it was ever any good.
Stephen S. from Bayshore. What's Hugh Grant's new boring movie? 4 naps and a coma?
Yeah.
All right, Anthony, the Jersey Shore. You finally saw the fucking show.
Yes.
With The Situation.
Saw that last night and didn't even mean to watch it. I wanted to put on 16 and Pregnant, which is a funny-ass show on MTV. And apparently MTV has just thrown out their programming to just play this Jersey Shore show over and over and over again.
Fucking show, did I tell you? It has a buzz.
Yeah.
It really has a buzz.
People like it.
Yeah. Second sponsor bailed. Domino's, and now, do we know the name of the second one? I forgot. If someone has, whatever. But a second major sponsor has bailed on the show, on MTV in general. So, Jimmy...
It's going to... And it's unfortunate because the guy... And this mullet, Linda Stasi, this cornball critic from the Post... is, of course, blasting the show. And I fucking hate her. Because, A, I think she's a corny, terrible writer.
Yeah.
And B, she reveals exactly what she is. But she doesn't like...
Read the article, Jimmy. Read some of this article.
Well, the name of it is in the Post, and it's called Shore Fire, the Italian TV exec behind Jersey Shore. Well, it's Tony DeSanto, who's a guy I know for many years.
Oh, you know Tony?
Very well, yeah.
He's an Italian producer, right?
Yeah, he's the president of programming for MTV. He's
the main guy.
The boss.
And he's Italian.
Yes. And what bothered her is that they didn't send out screener copies, because they probably knew they was going to get killed, and they didn't ask the critics what they thought. And then this fuck them is right.
Yeah, fuck the critics.
And then she's like...
What the fuck do they know?
Here's what she says. Tony DeSanto, MTV's Italian-American president of programming, which the fact that he's Italian has nothing to do with it, but she mentions that.
Yeah.
Who is responsible for this loathsome show, won't talk to the Post. And then that's what bothered her. And then later she goes, since he won't get on the phone with me...
Wait, slow down. Won't talk to the Post that had a Photoshop as their front page the other day. You know, that paper.
Right.
She's shocked that this guy won't talk to a rag like the Post.
She's outraged that this show, which depicts Italian-Americans a certain way, since he won't get on the phone with me, I will tell you publicly what I would have told him privately.
Thank God.
Boy.
Thank God for Linda Stasi.
Strap in. I'm sure this is going to...
She's like, well, we the Italian-Americans, blah, blah, blah. Would that programming ever been allowed if the group were African-American, Asian, Hispanics, Jews? Probably not. I'll agree with her there, but that's not Tony's fault. Because society is hypocritical in what they tolerate, that's not Tony's fault, and that's not MTV's fault. The thing that bothers me so much is, look, we all read the Post. It's an entertaining paper. But they have done nothing but used this fucking sex scandal to sell papers and make money. They've done nothing but capitalize on the humiliation of Tiger Woods' wife, as has the rest of the media. And then this fucking bitch who works for this paper is self-righteously mad that he used Italian stereotypes in the show. Fuck Linda Stasi.
You work for a rag.
Watch what I do. I stand up and I applaud you.
No, please don't. This is very obvious.
I applaud
Amazing,
you.
Jim.
But you're right. She's outraged over a dumb little show. Look what your fucking paper does on a daily basis to sell copies.
Look what you associate.
Right.
Let's see. And again, the Post is what it is. It doesn't pretend to be anything different.
But it's not a highbrow fucking. It's barely a newspaper.
What a phony.
Yeah. So don't make it sound like
woman.
You're writing for the Times over there.
Why doesn't she do something?
Wall Street Journal, any of those more highbrow-looking papers.
And even then, they stink, because there's an article, which we'll get into later over there, about NPR wanting its reporters not to appear on Fox News as correspondents. So anybody that doubts there's a bias in the media, you're a fucking idiot, because now there's all this strife between Fox and the White House, and they're afraid a lot of their donors won't give money to NPR because they're appearing on a conservative news network who's at odds with Obama and the White House. Well, where's that for fucking objective reporting? They're terrible. But anyway, she's just an irrelevant asshole, and I'm so happy Tony didn't get on the phone with her. Why should he explain himself? The show is what it is.
Can we tell her that she's an irrelevant asshole?
She just is.
Do we have a fucking email address for this broad?
Linda Stasi,
with the crypt hands?
I don't have one.
Crypt keeper hands, I should say.
He treated her like he should have. He ignored her.
But then she has to explain all the Italians in her family and all the good they've done in the world.
No one gives a fuck.
No one gives a shit. Everyone knows Italians have done very well in this world. Pretty much every group out there has done very well for themselves.
Bricks they've laid.
Here's a good one. Her daughter's a blogger for the Huffington Post.
Dude, she's a cum laude graduate of Wellesley College.
Obviously smart, and, again, a blogger for the Post, Huffington Post. That's terrific. I wonder how she feels about her mother working for a News Corps-owned
Your daughter's going to be embarrassed.
And she goes,
what you do.
My brother's a scientist and engineer. My cousin was the active duty career Army officer who brought all the troops into Ground Zero on 9/11. What the fuck does that have to do with a show on it? Take your ethnic pride and shove it up your ass.
Exactly. Yeah, what does that have to do with anything?
It means nothing.
Bring up the relatives that aren't all that good. I bet you got a few of those in your fucking family.
God, is that... What it does...
Jimmy, keep reading because it gets really good. She says, has to spell out forget
she
about
says
it.
She's saying how Italians don't do that. We do not say forget about it, nor are we in waste management. We are, however, very much a typical Italian-American family with not a gel-haired thug for miles around.
Some do, obviously. Why not focus on that? Your story would be a bore fest with your scientist fucking relative and your fucking daughter, a blogger. What are you going to do? Fucking do an expose on that? It's funny to watch Guidos walking around trying to get laid and putting gel in their hair for some reason. It's hysterically funny.
Oh, and the next line is, wow, boy, is she out of touch. What criteria did you use for casting the show? Did you deliberately search out Italian-Americans who were born without the gene for shame? Yeah, that's exactly what they did. Yes, they were going for a particular look for this show.
And the fact that they're Italian is secondary to me to the fact that they're asses. They're asses.
Complete.
He refers to his abs as the situation. Guy's an ass.
Now, don't call him an ass. The situation is the coolest guy.
The last line's great because she thinks she's that important. No wonder you won't get on the phone. You must be, or should be, busy changing your last name to Smith.
Yes, deny your Italian-American heritage, because I guess your ethnicity should define what programming you greenlight. That's good. That's ethnic pride.
Yeah.
That's great.
What a great idea.
She stinks.
What a dope.
She is a dope. She's a fucking dope. And again, if you want to talk about, what you find is inappropriate, why are you not attacking your own paper for capitalizing on this story, the humiliation of this wife, and they cannot stop plastering pictures of girls in bikinis that are showing their tits that Tiger fucked. Where's your outrage, Linda? Where's you fucking selective idiot?
As a woman, maybe you should be writing about that. Why aren't you writing about that?
How about page 6?
Why don't you write about how the paper is really fucking demoralizing Tiger's wife at this point? And all these girls, all they are fucking money-grubbing whores, Linda. Why don't you do an article on that?
How about page 6 where they show Tiger bombs his fan Slip Birdie, and they show this Corey wrist, very sexy, on her stomach in a bra and panties, a little fat, juicy ass sticking out.
Nice,
Where's your outrage at that? Why are you not bothered by that?
She's got a little juice in the rump.
Oh, she's
a little
sexy.
juice.
The juicy, that ass?
Little juice.
Oh, her fucking outrage makes me want to throw up.
Yeah, come on.
Linda Sassy is fucking horrible.
Clean up your own house.
Man. So what do you think of Jersey Shore, Ant?
I thought it was hysterical. I started watching it, and right away I'm just like, oh my God, these are, they took a bunch of just tools and threw them into a place to live together.
Did you see JWoww's boobs?
Oh, of course.
You see that one outfit she wore to go out?
Jesus Christ.
Would you just spill semen in your pants if you saw that?
Big tits.
Jesus.
And then I saw where the guys invited the girls into the hot tub.
The girls, other girls.
Yeah, other girls.
Yeah, which made the girls that they live with all jealous.
Yeah, all jealous and stuff. It's like, just get back in the house and shut up.
Right. Yeah, they've only known each other for a day or two.
Yeah.
They're very jealous.
So what? They're like, we don't want trash in the house. Don't even think about it. Don't even think about it. Yeah, don't let the door hit your ass.
So what? They brought some whoas into their hot tub. And they want to maybe get some. And then the girls took their fucking their bra and panties off. And they were naked in the jacuzzi. And the one girl's
by the way,
how am I going to filter this out?
Yeah. By the way, those girls that got naked for the Guidos.
Yeah.
They say Guidos. Whatever.
Yeah.
Those girls didn't look like they were Italian. They weren't being portrayed in a good light.
No, I guess not.
Getting naked within an hour of meeting these guys. So.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, of course it's fantastic.
Making out with one of the guys in a hot tub, and then the other girls calling them,
trash.
They're not classy.
Yeah, as they say, classy.
Those girls are classless. It's fantastic.
Do you like the Snookster?
Yeah.
Are you a fan of the Snookster?
She, well, from what I saw, she's not very happy with everybody. She's a little bummed.
Well, she
doesn't seem liked.
Well, she's the princess of Poughkeepsie.
She's a piece of shit. They're all just utter and complete trash.
Is there anything funnier than a really short girl trying to drive a car where the seat is all the way up to the steering wheel?
It's all the way up. She's like, woo, Jersey Shore. With that horrible accents and the hair gel.
The gel, the tanning.
The tanning. My boys. Not with my boys. Then there's a fight. There's got to be a fight at the bar. And it's a catastrophe, the show. I don't think anybody is watching it going like, well, there it is. The accurate depiction of all Italian Americans. Mm-hmm. Okay, and even if they are, who gives a shit?
God, I hope MTV hangs in there. I love this show.
No way.
And I haven't liked an MTV show in a while.
I bet you that here's what will happen. They'll be overridden from above. Somebody at Viacom will override them because of advertising. The advertisers are going to. I'm not telling any secrets here. Everybody knows this is what happens when you're part of a giant company. The advertisers start targeting the parent company, which forces the parent company.
Yeah, that's true.
To pull to fuck with you,
right,
from above.
We'll see, because they really are pushing the shit out of this show right now.
You think the situation has a situation?
The situation is a douche.
He's a tool.
He is a douche.
Can I jump in and say one thing? How they're going to make money if they yank this show halfway through? The DVD sales will be through the fucking roof.
Yeah,
they show a couple episodes, and then you can't see the rest of the season.
You have to buy the DVD?
Yeah.
Well, we'll see.
It'll be big.
There's a lot of fucking talk about this damn thing.
Terry Gilliam is here.
Oh, really? He's early? It's a little early. We shouldn't let him.
He's not. Can't make much.
Let's do a couple more. We'll do a couple more minutes, take a break, and we'll get Terry Gilliam in here.
Good idea.
So there you go. You're hooked on Jersey Shore?
Yeah, I got to see, obviously, some more episodes, I mean.
What about Slammin' Sammy? You like her? Is that her name again? Smoking Sammy? What is her name?
Which one is that?
She was the one that made out with the two guys in the house. She was with the situation, holding hands.
Right. Holding hands.
Goes to the club and kind of kisses the situation and then moves on to Ronnie, I think.
How do you leave
Ronnie, the guy that hasn't worn a shirt yet?
How do you leave the situation, though? Yeah, I know. They're just idiots. And the tattoos, dude, that Cadillac tat and the big Italian flag with the fucking crest or whatever it is
and
on
the jersey
his back.
Plate that says New Jersey.
Horrid.
Yeah.
Big Cadillac tattoo.
But you're Italian? What's the deal, man? You don't give a shit, right?
I have no idea. No, I don't give a shit at all. I think it's hysterical to watch, but I don't really know anybody like that. Like, I wouldn't hang out with people like that. I don't know. Yeah, it's just what they are.
Mm-hmm. Sammy Sweetheart. Thank you, Chunk One.
Sammy Sweetheart?
Sammy Sweetheart. It was a little,
yeah? What? Little chubbed?
Well, it doesn't have much of a shape, and she's got youth on her side.
Oh.
Hey, one of the broads from Jersey Shore wants to call our show today.
Yeah?
Which one? I guess we'll have to do it after Terry Gilliam. One of the broads will be on our show after Terry Gilliam to talk about Jersey Shore. She wants to talk about the situation, by the way.
Oh, really?
And the F word was used a lot. She's not happy.
Not happy with the situation?
Nope.
The situation.
And not the F word. The second F word.
For the word for feminine?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, interesting. Well.
All right. Why don't we go to break? Because we got Terry Gilliam here.
Yeah.
And we'll get into it with him about the new movie. And
it's called the Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus.
Yeah. Wow.
It's in theaters on Christmas Day.
And Jimmy saw half the movie so far and loved it.
Loved what I saw.
I can't wait to talk to Terry Gilliam. Life of Brian, right?
Fucking
meaning of life, right?
Yeah, 12 Monkeys.
Big part
12
of
Monkeys.
Monty Python.
Oh, my God.
Holy shit, 12 Monkeys was a great movie, too.
No.
Yeah, my God. Hey, Ventura, we got a second installment of Ventura Talking Crazy.
I love
This is our second installment. We'll go to break with this.
And now, 88 seconds of former Minnesota governor, professional wrestler, and Navy SEAL Jesse Ventura talking crazy. And go.
Were they testing out HARP, and it created this tsunami that later killed hundreds and thousands of people? They have such power. Our president goes to it, and our president has to sign a no-talk thing. And the real guy is this character called Maurice Strong. That's the big point. What if it is? No. 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 It shows how they could shoot these things down to masses of people and literally affect your emotions with them. They can cause you anxiety. They can cause you fear. And that was on the night that Jesus Christ supposedly rose from the dead. Both. Yep. With this satellite, if they want to, they can follow you and know right where you're at. It's eye-opening. I don't do computers. I'm computer illiterate, happily. Probably. But trust me, I can do you in and not think twice about it. Oswald couldn't make the shots. You know that as well as I do. This thing's set up on the same frequency as the human brain. Do you think that's by happenstance or by design? Why would everything have to be locked up in national security for 50 years? That's because you're not seeing the real medical evidence. Could that be part of it, that they're heating up the ionosphere up there by using this thing? Ford changed where the bullet hit. They put him in the MRI and the machine went ballistic. You know why? 5 chips in his body. Oh, yeah.
That was 88 seconds of former Minnesota governor, professional wrestler, and Navy SEAL Jesse Ventura talking crazy.
Oh, yeah.
On the Opie and Anthony Show.
How cool is this? Terry Gilliam in studio. What's up, sir? Just coming in and meeting all of us for the first time?
Yes, indeed. I'm terribly frightened and nervous.
Oh, no.
Please be gentle with me.
No reason to be at all.
We should be frightened of you. You're Terry Gilliam.
No, I'm not. You've never seen the real Terry Gilliam. I'm a fraud. I'm a double.
Where'd he go? We were just going over everything you've done, and we're just blown away. 12 monkeys. Come on.
Yeah, it's a wasted life.
The Monty Python stuff.
Yeah, that was 40 years ago.
My God.
I know, you're walking, this is a walking corpse here.
No.
You really are, though, in the comedy world. I mean, you really are royalty. I mean, Python, it's just, there's no, I've never heard a disrespectful thing said about Monty Python or anything they've done by anybody in comedy. Not one person in comedy has ever went,
It's very influential. Yeah. How'd you get tied up with them being an American?
They needed somebody to make them feel superior.
Oh, is that it?
Yes.
That makes
brought in
sense.
Yes, because I didn't speak the language. And so
the Queen's English.
So they could go around, oh, Terry, isn't that very interesting? It says bunch. It says bunch of water a moment ago. Oh, fantastic. That's called a lake, Terry.
Yeah. So was it the animation that brought you with them?
No, it actually began here in New York. After college, I went and I was working on a magazine called Help. I was editing with Harvey Kurtzman, who began Mad Comics.
Oh, wow.
And we did these things called Fumetti, which were basically like a cartoon strip, except they were photographs. It was, like a still movie. And people talked in bubbles. And I was always getting actors to appear in them for $15 a day we could pay. And there was a thing called Cambridge Circus, which was the Footlights Review from Cambridge University, and John Cleese, Graham Chapman were in it, and several other people that went on to become the Goodies. I got John to appear in one of these photo stories, and we became friends, and years later I went off to England, and he, by then, was quite successful in television. I was still working in magazines. I said I want to get into television. He introduced me to some people. I started doing stuff. And then the stuff was with a kids' comedy program that Mike Palin, Terry Jones, and Eric Idle were writing and performing. And that was the beginning of the connection.
Do you realize that a lot of first sexual images that a lot of guys in my age bracket saw was on Monty Python on public television. And it was a lot of your animations showed, topless women.
Large-breasted women, yes.
Large-breasted women. And it was kind of, it was very exciting to see that at that age. You'd watch it on public television.
It was hard to find naked women when we were growing up. So we want to bow to you that you gave us a little something to look at.
My first direction was Eric Idle in The Life of Brian.
No, and we got to play women as well.
Yes, yes.
Wearing false breasts.
Yeah, a lot of cross-dressing going on.
There's something free about it. It was
program.
actually frightening when you first come to England because, drag acts are very funny. They've been traditional in England. And it's kind of a shock. You don't realize at first you assume, okay, there's some kind of weird sexuality going on. They're just men who dress up as women and it frees you.
Yeah, with the voices too, of course. The penguin on the telly and all that fun stuff.
It's liberating, this stuff.
Apparently, you guys did it a lot.
His argument about I want to have babies. You want to have babies? It's just so silly and bizarre and
you
just
don't
brilliant.
have a womb. Where are you going to keep it? And it goes.
It really was very. Was it as cutting edge over there as it was here? Because in America, Monty Python was just like there was nothing else like it.
And I think Python came from a tradition. I don't know how familiar people were with Spike Milligan over here. He was part of the Goon Show, which Peter Sellers had been part of. And that was one of the things that brought me to England, this very anarchic, surreal comedy. And I think we were just the children of that. And then, obviously, our children have been South Park and Saturday Night Live and blah, blah, blah. You just pass it on.
Yeah.
Did you guys resent, like, the big names in British comedy, at least in America, were always, you heard about Monty Python and Benny Hill. Like, those were the two shows. Did you guys like Benny Hill, or did you look down on Benny Hill, or did you think it was...
Well, that was always was funny when it came to America, because somehow we were compared. We seemed to be the same kind of comedy.
Oh, hell no.
And we just went, what the fuck is this? The man just does tit jokes. Sorry, we do tit jokes as well. No, we seem to be at opposite ends in England, but in America, it was
very different.
Yeah.
The two shows.
I never understood that. Yeah, there was a lot of just great Monty Python, a lot of great non sequiturs that just didn't make any sense, but were hysterically funny.
I don't know.
Sitting there going, what the hell did I just say?
Well, we had 6 people, all who were pretty good at what they did, and nobody telling us don't do that, don't work for this kind of audience. It was just to please ourselves.
Right.
And the fact it pleased a lot of people was quite a big surprise to all of us.
We remember those days. Those days were fun. When you just did it to please yourself, and you didn't have to worry about lawyers and political correctness and all that other horse shit.
Just go into the bathroom,
we
close
had a few
the door,
years
get the magazine out, and please yourself.
Please yourself.
We had a few years of that. It was nice.
And now you're corporate, are you?
Yeah.
We're fighting
the corporate shills.
We're fighting the good fight. You'd be proud, but
we try.
But it's getting exhausting.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, this is actually what's happening. It's happening in films and everything. All the talent is being pushed out, and the last people on the sinking boat are the bureaucrats.
Yes.
Ba-boom.
Yeah, they never fire each other. They just go from job to job. They give themselves raises when they put raises. This is every company on a freeze on everybody else, and they never fire themselves for their shitty programming decisions. It's just the talent that gets dumped. Eric Idle said something recently, maybe it was a year ago, about likability, because there's an obsession with likability in comedy, and he goes, I don't want you to be likable, I want you to be funny. Like, I like somebody who makes me laugh. And he's right. This obsession with being nice and being marketable and pinchable, it's like, that doesn't mean you're funny.
Yeah. No. I mean, we went out of our way to shock people all the time. It was trying to keep people awake. Television is such a deadening kind of art form. So if we could do things to shock, there was one thing we never did, which I wanted to do, which was do a program where we're slowly turning the sound down as we're doing this thing. So it's down to almost nothing, and everybody giving people at home time to get up and turn the volume up on their television set, and then blast them with the biggest sound we could and blow up every set in the country. We didn't do that.
We kind of did something like that on radio.
Yeah?
Yeah. We said we had something really important, but we have to whisper it, so turn up your radio real loud. And then we blasted a scream.
Great.
Yeah.
I think it's important. I mean, I think with Python, also what was easier then, which, you had 3, then 4 channels in England television. So everybody was seeing the show at the same time. I mean, now everything is the great diaspora has occurred. There's a million radio stations. There's 900 television stations. So that experience of all being together, an entire country doing something together at one time.
Yeah, true. It's DVR'd. Everything's, watched at a different time. You can record it and then watch it later. And there isn't that really the next day where people start talking about what they saw the previous night.
Which was such a great feeling when everyone was talking about the exact same thing.
And that's what was happening.
Now there's a weird catch-up thing. Like, I talked about that 2 weeks ago.
It's hard. I'm curious whether we'll all come back to a smaller number of sources.
I think
the social networking is helping that. Because, like, I mean...
Is it helping or hurting it?
Well, no, like the Tiger Woods thing. I mean, everyone's on it right now. You know what I mean? They're just...
Every woman in the country's on it.
Apparently on it.
There's money.
Yeah. What do you think of that whole thing?
Tiger and his Woody.
You think it's a great story, isn't it?
It's incredible. I mean, to have somebody that clean, perfect, to suddenly become human.
Right. Thank you.
Yeah. And apparently, they're saying, I didn't realize, we were talking about it last night, that, golf is the most adulterous sport out there. And finally, he's blown the cover of the whole thing. And all the golfers hate him.
Yeah, and it's like, now look what you did.
Yeah.
We've all been
out there playing our 9 holes. Ha ha. Actually, I think it's 10 now, isn't it?
We're up to 10. We're on the back 9. We're starting the back 9 there, Terry. Yeah, that's a very good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we all know that a lot of these athletes are cheating when they're on the road, but golf was one of those things like, oh, these guys can't possibly be cheating. It's golf.
And apparently they're the worst.
Oh, they're going to hate him.
Nobody's interested in their personal lives. Their personal lives are seen as so dull compared to the NBA or the NFL. And now you hear like, wow, these guys are pieces of shit. It's like, oh, it's fantastic.
Oh, did she really hit him? Is that where it started?
We're trying to figure that out.
Like there's so many he's doing a good job of keeping everything kind of half out there. Like you only got half the story out there, and
he hasn't been photographed, has he?
No.
So the swelling is going down. Hopefully,
I'm sure.
Well, you heard the latest? There's a woman that was rushed to the hospital from his house.
Yeah,
what?
2 o'clock
a few hours ago, for real. The picture, if you could look to that screen, whatever. It's not. It's not facing your way, but a blonde woman was rushed from Tiger's home.
Looks like his wife
on advanced life support to the hospital. For real.
Amazing.
That's the latest.
That's actually the bad side. This is
the
not
story
good,
just gets like
better and better,
though. Just how many things are going to go on with this guy now?
At some point, I mean, I think the country almost needs it because there's such a hypocrisy. Everybody's pretending things are fine and under control, which they're obviously not. And Tiger's now, open the Pandora's box. All of our lives will be revealed soon.
Yeah, there's no shutting that one, man. He's going to have to just fess up to it or quit the game and just leave.
Sure.
Go into exile. I want to talk to you about movies. Now, how did you make that jump? And was it easy for you? I mean,
yeah, it actually was. I mean, I always wanted to direct films, but I couldn't see how one worked one's way up through the system. I've never been good at making tea for other people and all that stuff. And so it was finally when, with Python, we'd become successful enough that people wanted to give us money to make a movie. And Terry Jones and I both were hankering to do the job. We said, anybody named Terry gets to direct, and we raised our hands and everybody agreed with us, and we were directors.
Wow, you just volunteered for it.
Yeah, we got it. And I've been working my way down from the top ever since.
What was the first movie?
Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
The Holy Grail, of course.
One of my favorite lines from that movie, I don't know why, is when the killer rabbit, he just goes, "Rabbit stew coming up." I don't know why, that's so great.
That's one of my few lines in that film. Rabbit stew coming up. It was, what was so interesting about that film is we didn't have any actual experience in filmmaking, but we all knew the principles, and we'd been doing television. And we get up in Glencoe in the mountains of Scotland, and the equipment had to be carried down from the road, down across the raging river, up the other mountainside to the Bridge of Death, which is there. And on our very first day, the camera broke on our very first shot. And that was our introduction to filmmaking.
Yeah, great.
The other great thing is that 2 weeks before we started shooting up there, we were thrown out of all the castles that we were supposed to be shooting because the National Trust said we wouldn't respect the dignity of the fabric of the building. These are places where the most awful tortures and rapes and pillagings have gone on. But a bit of comedy, we're going to take the walls down like Jericho.
One of my favorite lines is, someday this will all be yours. What the curtains. That's a good one.
No, it holds up, that film.
Yeah, absolutely does. I remember watching that just years ago, and of course, maybe partaking in a little marijuana with my friends and watching it, and just hysterical, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it does still hold up.
It definitely holds up.
And a film like 12 Monkeys, I love that whole concept, that whole time travel and paradox and kind of weird thing going on. And a lot of those strange, I don't know, mechanics, the gearing and all that weird kind of thing. Was that coming from you?
Yeah, I'm afraid so. I just love the idea of you've got to rebuild society, civilization, and all you've got are scraps, bits of things.
Yeah.
And you're sort of gluing them all together and sewing them up and trying to make a system that works. And yeah, I love all that. I love it's either the decay of things or the try to reconstitution of things.
Yeah, it seems you've always been into like gears and cogs.
Yeah. It's how things work. At least they used to work until the electronic age come. Now, I'm so frustrated because before a cog, you could get your file out and make it work or clean it out. I don't know what happens now. We just throw things away.
Throw it away, buy a new one.
Yeah, exactly.
What makes you laugh? What would you say is your favorite all-time comedy or something that you can watch over and over and laugh?
I don't do. It's like I don't even watch Python because laughter to me is based on surprise. And that's what always gets me. So it's like someone like Bill Hicks. I'd never seen his work. And then somebody said, Bill Hicks, you got to see it. And I got all these CDs, DVDs of his stuff. And the man is an utter genius.
Yeah. I love Bill Hicks.
Oh, I mean, when I was younger, it was Lenny Bruce. Mm-hmm. Because, he really did break the bounds. And we did something in Life of Brian, it was a bit Lenny Bruce-like, because he was trying to always take the sting out of words. And you can't say the N, all this thing, people are frightened of words. And the minute you're frightened of words, you're frightened of thinking. It starts happening. So we've got this scene in Life of Brian where Brian, his mother says he's son of a Roman. And he said, Roman? I'm a Jew. I'm a Red Sea pedestrian, a kike, a shady. He says every derogative word you could say to somebody Jewish, and I'm proud of it, is what he says. And I thought that was so important to take all the words, all the negative words, pile them together and say, fuck you, I'm proud of it.
Yeah.
You call me whatever you want.
We still haven't learned our lesson.
No.
Because now the N-word thing is ridiculous. Now more people are actually saying the word by saying the N-word.
But I got into a thing recently in London. Somebody was referring to black Americans and said African Americans, and they were told they said Afro Americans, and it was corrected because African Americans. So the N letter is still very important, if not the N word.
Apparently, yes.
And that kind of distinction is ridiculous because it's missing the point. I mean, to me, because I was very much involved in the civil rights movement, and I thought the whole point was we would all be equal, so skin color didn't matter. So if it's a black guy, I could call him a bastard because he's a bastard, not because he's black. Or, anybody. I just want that freedom and to be honest about who people are and what they are.
Yeah, how come you can't just call someone an asshole if they're being an asshole without being accused of having
racism
some
or sexism
motive? Some kind of sinister motive. Sometimes people are just assholes.
Yeah. And you want to be able to use the words that are appropriate.
Exactly. Yes.
Good English.
Did you guys get any, was there any criticism you got for doing Python that actually surprised you? Or things that people objected to that you were like, I can't believe they're bothered by that?
It was actually John Cleese actually vetoed one little bit of mine, one animation of mine, which was shocking. We had this principle that if somebody in the group didn't like it so severely that they could actually exercise a veto. And we had a thing going on about silly religions. And at one point, this silly vicar is on the phone and there's some sort of interference on the phone line. And I'm following telephone poles with the lines going, and we're bouncing across the countryside. And suddenly, boom, we come to one and there's a robber hanging on it, and the next one has got Jesus hanging on it, and the next robber, it's the crucifixion, and that was the static on the line, and John panicked about it and said, I'm going to use my veto, and it was cut out of the show.
Did he panic about that because of repercussions he thought was going to happen, or did it personally?
I think it was repercussions. I think he thought we were going to offend too many people. But then we went on and did Life of Brian.
Which, wow.
And back then, that was something, like in the mid-'70s, early 70s, that was something going, like the church, that wouldn't get you in trouble. Islam would get you in trouble. But back then, addressing Catholicism like that would get you in trouble.
Real brave for the time.
Well, in the States, I mean, I remember Variety, the trade magazine, Showbiz magazine, there were on one whole page about Life of Brian. There were 2 columns on the Catholics protesting, 2 columns on the Jews protesting. Two columns on the Protestants. We got them all. And I thought, that's
how happy were you? Yeah, all right. You did the thumbs up. Yeah, good.
Your movie, I saw, here's the story behind this movie, which I saw half it, and I'll tell you why. We got to screen our DVDs, and we get up at 5 in the morning to do this. And I put it on last night, and I didn't want to fall asleep because I have been up for almost 24 hours, and I loved it. I mean, I'm not being polite. It was fucking great. It's visually like in a really an amazing movie. It's like they're traveling around in what looks like, how would you describe the apparatus they're traveling in? It's like a stage show that travels, but it folds up and it's a house. It's this,
it's
like
almost this very weird, gigantic wagon, horse-drawn, that opens up, you know, like a pop-up book.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of opens up like that. And there's this fantastic little stage there with this strange show going on. The idea was that this thing almost comes from another time into a modern city. And it's the most extraordinary thing you've ever seen, and nobody's paying attention.
Yeah.
They're too busy drinking or shopping, and there's wondrousness there. And this is Dr. Parnassus and his traveling Imaginarium.
It's so great because I won't give anything away, but there's one scene where this thing is parked on top of a bridge, and it's in a modern city, and there's this thing from what looks like the 1800s parked, and there's a guy who is hanging by the neck under a bridge. It's just it's just a great movie. Tom Waits is in it. He's fantastic.
It's brilliant.
We got to ask you about Heath Ledger.
Yeah.
I mean, that almost blew the whole project. I mean,
well, halfway through the film, we just finished shooting in London. We've been 4 weeks, and we finished on a Saturday night. Heath went to New York. I went to Vancouver, where we're going to do all the blue screen work. And 2 days later, I come into the office, and there on the BBC website, Heath Ledger found dead, which was clearly impossible. I mean, we've been together before.
I was going to ask you, were there any signs on set, right? This
man was so full of life and vitality and fun. And even now, I mean, we're now talking 2 years, 2 years, whatever it's been. It's hard to even work it out in my head what happened, because I don't know what happened. He just suddenly was alive, and then he was dead. And we had a little problem then. How do you finish a film halfway through when the star isn't there? And I didn't really know what I was going to do, but I called Johnny Depp up, because he was a very close friend of Heath's. And I said, I don't know what to do. I might just go home, close the whole thing down, because I don't know. And he says, well, whatever you decide to do, I'll be there. Wow. And that was the beginning of the salvation of the movie. And then I basically did a little bit of rewriting, and decided every time you go through this magic mirror in the Imaginarium, if you're with somebody else, their imagination may be stronger than yours, and they may be imagining you the way they would like you to be, and suddenly you have passed that Johnny Depp, Colin Farrell, and Jude Law all become other aspects of the character that Heath was playing. And it works. And people who've seen it, who don't know the whole story, just assume it was written.
And that's how it was written.
What's amazing is you got those three guys.
Yeah, but I mean, I just started calling close friends of Heath, because I really wanted to keep it in the family. And, and they were able to adjust their schedules, and we did it. And they did it, and to make it even more amazing, they did it for nothing. They gave all their money to his daughter.
Oh, wow.
This does not happen in showbiz.
No.
It's the one we would like to, but and I don't think it's ever happened in the cinema. And the fact that it works is what I begin to think. At a certain point, I get almost spiritual about it. I think there's a movie god making the movie.
Sure.
I'm just the hand that writes.
Everyone is saying you pulled it off. Everybody. Because most people at first are like, wow, I guess this is it. There's no way he's going to be able to, figure this one out. But you did.
It works.
You definitely did.
Yep.
The reviews on it are great.
Oh, it's a fantastic. I mean, I don't normally like my movies. This one is extraordinary, because I don't think I made it. I think the movie god made it.
Why don't you like your movies?
No, I get... Listen,
just because you're too close to it.
Yeah, when you've been on it so long, and when you're cutting a movie, I've probably seen it 150 times. At a certain point, enough. I want to get on and start living a life again.
Sure.
Yeah, but no, I also want to be able to get away from them. So maybe 10 years later, I can come back and look at them and see them like not me, but as just any old buddy going in and watching a movie. Mm-hmm. I've never seen one of my own movies not as me.
Really? Yeah, true. So, yeah. I always wonder about directors that have such a distinct look to their films. I mean, you could look at Kubrick, obviously. Spielberg's another one that you just watch the movie, and from the camera moves, you just know it's a Spielberg movie. You have that also. You watch the movie, and just from the way the camera's moving and other aspects of the direction, you know it's you. Are you conscious of doing that, or is that just something that happens like handwriting would? Or?
Yeah, it is. It's that sometimes people want to talk about it, and I don't know what they're talking about, because I can't describe it. I don't know what it is I do. I just do. It's the way I see things. It's as simple as that. And I obviously have astigmatism or something going on there, because it doesn't look like other people's stuff.
It's just odd to me, because and it's such a simplistic way to put it, because it's like saying, all right, an artist has a paintbrush and a canvas and some paint. They should all look the same. But you're taking a camera, a lens, and moving it. But somehow you're doing it differently than anyone else and putting such a distinct look on it that you identify it as one of your movies. And it is such an original and just stunning look to a movie. I really, that's what I love about your films. 12 Monkeys was a great example of when he's in the future, and everything almost had a fisheye lens look to it. It was a very weird, detached place.
Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, also a really shot
just
movie.
an amazing movie.
There's a kind of, I don't know, you get yourself into the movie, and then I do incredible research, prepare for the whole thing, and on every level, and also I'm kind of playing God because I get to create a world, and every detail I'm involved in the detail. And then
that's obvious,
yeah, I use wide-angle lenses because it's about not just people, but it's about people in an environment, a place, so that everything is part of the storytelling.
Yeah,
process.
it's always very big. There's a lot of size and grandeur to your shots.
You smoke a lot of pot.
Interestingly enough, I don't.
Where's that craziness coming from?
I don't know. Natural mutation. Darwin would be so excited about what's going on in my head.
Because your imagination is just... Wow.
Actually, it was really funny. With Python and all my movies, they always thought we were druggies.
Right.
And we never were.
Really?
No, we just, it's that awful John Denver natural high business, which I like gag. But I realized I'm a natural high guy.
A little booze.
Yes. Now you're single malt whiskey. You're fine tequila. Now we're talking.
Okay, there you go.
Hey, how do you feel about like you said, comedy is taking you off guard, which it is. It's catching you by surprise. Like something like a brilliant thing like Sellers and the Pink Panther being remade and bastardized here.
I was on the plane a few months ago coming to L.A., and there it was. There was Steve Martin's Pink Panther, which I hadn't seen. And I couldn't believe what I was watching. And luckily, the original Pink Panther was on as well. And I switched on to that. And you just realize how sublimely brilliant Sellers was, and how... I know Steve. He's a really brilliant guy. I don't know what he was thinking. I don't know what he thought he was doing.
Saying that.
It's a terrible bastardization of a great film and a great character.
We hate when comedies are remade. We just hate it. Other movies, you remake them because, like Anthony has brought up, the technology's different, so you can give it a cooler look or whatever. But comedies, leave them alone. They are what they are.
Exactly, and especially when it's something so specific. It was Peter Sellers is what made that.
Right, exactly.
And so, okay, I'm going to be the new Peter Sellers, and I'm Steve Martin. It's a completely different kind of comedy.
Yep.
It's a different kind of character. When I saw, because I hadn't seen the original for so long, and Sellers, he broke your heart because he was so innocent in this thing.
Yeah.
And his wife is cheating on, everybody is cheating on him, and he's just floating through it in love. I love that kind of comedy. It makes me cry at the same time I'm laughing.
Like Planes, Trains, and Automobiles was a good one. John Candy was such a broken sap of a guy, and Steve Martin was great in that as a prick. I don't know what he's like. I've only met him once for half a second, but I imagine that's what he's really like. Well, so it came off as great.
That's why I like the English version of The Office so much better than the American version, because it's you feel bad for the guy because he's such an ass.
You got it.
He's just such an ass, and it's not this over-the-top psychotic thing that they wound up doing with the American character. It's just this sad sack who thinks he's funny, and people just criticize him right to his face, and he doesn't want to acknowledge it, but he does know. Like, that to me is brilliant.
I love that. It's really funny because it had come out, it had become a big success, the whole first series, and I'm always in my own world, so I hadn't watched any of it. And I was over at my brother-in-law's house for Christmas, and he had the box set of the whole first series. And I put one on, saying, you've got to see what The Office is like.
And
it's put
like
one on. I watched the whole series. That was it.
Guilty.
Yep.
Did the same exact thing.
Face is brilliant.
But, he's sad sack. He's so desperate. But the idea of having like a documentary film being made, and he's always smiling to the camera. He's got a special relationship with the camera. It is. There's
an awkwardness and an embarrassment that you feel. It doesn't just make you laugh. You actually are cringing for this guy.
Yeah.
And to evoke that from somebody, an emotion like where you're alone watching it, yet you're embarrassed to be sitting there.
Exactly.
It amazes me that they could do that.
What happened in America? Who did it here?
Steve Carell.
And you know something, the first
you've
season,
never seen it?
No.
The first season, they kind of got away with it because they were really doing verbatim the English show. And then it turned into Carell just kind of taking the character into a whole nother area of just being retarded. Really just turning retarded instead of just that naive kind of weird.
And it's gone now forever.
Yeah.
It'll never come back, hopefully.
I don't think so. Well, the American show is still on, but the spirit of the English version lives on.
My favorite
Ricky Gervais.
One of my favorite moments is when he does the dance. Everybody talks about the big dance, but it's before that when he hints that if you want to dance, and you should have called me. And they're like, you dance, and he goes, yeah, fuse flash dance with MC Hammer shit, and like that was his idea of a great fucking innovative way for a hip guy to dance. It's like you want to just hang yourself watching it.
Why do you think so many shows, especially back in the 70s, really just came from England? They a lot of the writers, I guess Norman Lear, decided, hey, we'll take this idea, incorporate it into American lifestyle, like All in the Family was
Sanford and Son was Steptoe and Son.
Yeah, it's just odd that we decided that it would work like that.
But I think what was happening was in England, particularly the BBC where Python was, they were totally laissez-faire. Once they said yes to a show, that was it. You didn't have executives coming around there. You just did the show. I mean, and it was that kind of freedom, I think, that allowed really great comedy to come out of England, where in the States, it was still like the three main networks. It was only when cable came that suddenly the floodgates open, and cable suddenly, then The Simpsons, and suddenly we got South Park, and I find American comedy now is probably better than what is going on in England.
Well, the problem is cartoons still have freedom.
But
we talk about that a lot on our show too. Like the South Park and Family Guy could do whatever they want, but now if it's not a cartoon, then there's all sorts of problems, and you can't do this and that, which is ruining good comedy.
I only discovered Family Guy about probably 7 months ago. Wow. I watch it consistently.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
It is wonderful.
Yeah.
Has he ever been on Seth MacFarlane?
A few times.
Yeah.
What's he like? What is it?
Pretty boring.
He's actually pretty,
I love Family Guy,
but
he's nothing like you, Terry.
He's much funnier than I am. He's brilliant.
It was like pulling teeth with him, to be honest with you. But we're still a big fan.
A scene in one of last night's episodes where they're obviously a quick cut, and they change. They're in a lab with a rabbit, and they put lipstick on the rabbit like they're testing cosmetics, and then just shoot the rabbit's head off and go, yes, the lipstick isn't bulletproof. It's just killing a little bunny rabbit.
It's brilliant stuff.
Great.
I mean, England has kind of lost it at the moment. I mean, Little Britain, does it come? Have you seen the English version of Little Britain?
I liked it.
Yeah. It became repetitive, though. I mean, if you watch a lot of it.
It didn't take off here, unfortunately. We had those guys in. We liked them.
They're very funny.
And the first few episodes I saw, I definitely liked the show. Yeah. It was different in England?
No, it was the same thing, except they got to do more, and after a while they started repeating themselves a bit too much. And that was the thing I liked about Python. When we felt ultimately we were repeating ourselves, we just pulled the plug. And it was over. Because we're not surprising ourselves anymore. We're just doing the same shit.
Do you consider yourself like America? Do you live in America or England, or are you two homes?
I hope the police aren't listening, but I am no longer an American. 2 years, or was it 3 now, I renounced my American citizenship.
Wow.
Having lived 42 years in England and paying taxes in 2 countries for all that time, and discovering when I kick the bucket, the Americans will assess everything I own in the world and make me pay death duty. Not me, my wife, and my wife would actually have to sell the house to pay death duties. And so I said, enough.
Good for you.
I always heard that England, like for years, was always, oh my God, the taxes over there. Oh, it's crazy. But now I guess it's the other way around.
No, it's not. It's just the fact that, what happens. I mean, we bought a house years ago, 25 years ago, for X amount of money, and as property does, it's skyrocketed. And just the house alone, the death duties on that, she would have to sell the house to pay.
Yeah, the thought of paying tax after you die on your stuff.
Who came up with that one?
That you bought with tax money.
Yeah. Who came up with that? Enough.
And I mean, I've been rough enough on her in life, and I didn't think I should do it after I'm dead.
No.
I got to jump in.
Some slack.
I hear you have a hard out at 8:30. So
what?
Hard out. What is that? Hard on. Terry Gilliam's got a hard on.
I have one question for Terry Gilliam. It's important.
Sure.
How, after 42 years, have you not adopted the phony accent that Madonna picked up in 3 days?
Yeah, I know. The woman's a chameleon. She's a chameleon. I mean, she took up tweeds and sitting on horses. And I bumped into Guy Ritchie in the airport one time, and she had fallen off the horse in this photo shoot, broke her arm. She hates horses, he said, but she had worked very hard to become a tweedy English horse riding woman. No. She got the Kabbalah, though. That's why she can do this thing.
She's a spiritual
Jewish
woman.
mysticism can change your accent overnight.
Yes. All of a sudden, she's talking like this, and you're like,
exactly.
wait a minute, you're from, where's she from, Detroit or something?
Yeah, no, she's Italian.
Yeah, where's the
Ciccone.
Ciccone is right.
Well, the movie, we didn't realize you had to leave at 8:30. When I saw it, I'll watch the rest of it today. It was honestly fantastic.
Great.
It's, the acting is amazing. It's beautifully shot, and it's completely unpredictable. Like, I never felt like I knew what was about to happen in the next scene from the moment Ledger's introduced to Tom Waits' character. It's fantastic.
That's like many of this gentleman's movies.
None of it is
really
predictable.
Yeah,
None of it.
You don't sit there and just go, I know what's going to happen. Yeah, it's at the end you're just going, holy shit.
The funny thing about it is, kids, I've had 7, 8, 9-year-old kids, because adults see it like it's too sophisticated. Yeah. Kids get it before adults do. Adults have gotten frightened, structured, and they're missing the joy of
I guess
imagination.
It helps in my state of arrested development that I've been in for my entire life.
He's got to go.
Yeah, he's got to go.
Thank you.
Without a photo.
The Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus comes out Christmas Day. I highly recommend it. It's easy to recommend this one. It was fucking unbelievable.
And please come back and see us. We're big, huge fans. We're just getting started with you. We can talk about a lot of stuff.
Tiger's
That's
blonde,
what I'm saying.
the woman?
Yeah.
We weren't lying to you.
The story continues.
Blonde woman rushed to the hospital from Tiger's house.
Don't go OJ on us. Don't go OJ.
Exactly.
I was saying this could be bigger than OJ. I think there's a lot more that's going to come out before this thing calms down. The great Terry Gilliam. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, guys. I can go and talk dirty somewhere else now.
Man, that Terry Gilliam shit. Wow.
Hey, it's cool, man.
The fucking legend. I tweeted, I go, if you don't know who Terry Gilliam is, Google his ass. And then some people said, don't insult us, we know who he is. I'm talking about, like, maybe
dumb people
or younger listeners. I don't know.
Yeah.
The guy is a fucking legend. I was telling Ann, it all started with Monty Python when we were growing up.
Yep.
When you felt like you knew, or you were getting into comedy or whatever, and what was funny, you felt like you knew a little more by being into Monty Python.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
If you had friends that didn't get it, they
you either got it or didn't.
They weren't your friends anymore. It was kind of like a crossroad.
You know, you're so right. In high school, something like, Monty Python. All right, bye. I can't be bothered with you. I got to find some Monty Python fans immediately.
I don't get it. You don't. All right, take it ezy.
But you think you either got it or didn't?
Yeah.
As far as Monty Python goes,
it was definitely one of those shows.
The meaning of life. When the Protestant broad is just, the Catholic broad, is just having kids left and right, and one falls on the linoleum floor in the kitchen, and she goes, "Could someone get that?"
Right.
And then the Protestant couple across the street, because they practice safe, fucking sex, have no fucking kids.
It was, especially back the actual TV show. Just like I was saying, those non sequiturs, those things that would just pop in,
right? And
now for something completely different,
sure.
And then they would just change, no segue, no nothing,
right?
And it was, it was brilliant. It would make me laugh, and some people just didn't get it.
And I'm really happy that it looks like the new Terry Gilliam movie is going to be just fucking great.
I really did love what I saw, man. I just literally, it was just physically too late to finish it.
Good.
But god damn, is it well shot and brilliantly acted. I loved it.
And they figured out the Heath Ledger thing nicely.
Really smart, yeah.
What I was going to say. Oh, the Hoarders episode. A lot of people turning us on to that. Yes, a woman who hoards diapers. But we can't do the show justice without some clips. So we're going to get some clips for everybody, and then we'll talk about that.
She didn't really hoard diapers. It wasn't like hoard. She just shit. She did shit in diapers. But
she was saving her own shit, right?
Well, not on purpose. Like I figure hoarders to be like, they save a lot of stuff and their house becomes a wreck. And that's what they're hoarding. But then there's this secondary thing that happens. I imagine you could be a clean hoarder. You could walk into someone's house and they've collected everything over the years and piled it up in a neat stack and completely take over the home. Or, like, what they're showing on this show is people that hoard just garbage. They're more slobs than anything else. They're disgusting people. This woman's toilet didn't work for 2 fucking years. Jesus. For 2 years. So the bathroom was full of plastic bags with shit in it.
Get the fuck out
and
of here.
diapers. And at night, she would strap herself into one of those, you know those handicapped old people toilet seats?
With the handles?
They have like
the bars on the side or
No,
whatever?
it's just got a seat on it with like a bucket and 4 table legs. She would strap herself to this fucking thing at night and just like so she wouldn't fall out of it. And it was in her kitchen and she'd eat on it and everything and shit. And the whole bathroom was coated with, they said some parts there was like 2-foot piles of shit. But this one for 2 years was just shitting without a working toilet.
I got to see this fucking
They're
episode.
fucking slobs. And I sit there and go, burn the house down with the person in it. Because they're fucked up. And then they fix the house up. And the hoarder shrink comes over. And they're so condescending and fucking nice. Smacking these people in the face. The woman walks in and goes, now the place, mind you, is a fucking disaster. 2 feet of shit all over the place. She knocks on the door. This old bat opens it up. This crazy old bat that's been shitting on the floor and collecting shit for 40 years. And the woman's like, hi, Mary, so nice to meet you. Like she's going to a social. Like she's coming over for tea.
No, she's coming over to discuss your shit problem.
Yeah. And then the junk guys have to come in with respirators and gloves and biohazard shit. And they're walking around, and this woman's just sitting there like, you know, oh, save that. Oh, I'm getting a little nervous now. Could we stop for a minute? And she goes, okay, tell me why now. You're getting a little nervous with us throwing that away. Do you really need, like, I turn around and go, hey, dummy.
Know what I say?
It's got shit on it.
Thank you. Know what I say? Tough love.
Yeah.
Break the shit right in front of her.
And all their children are all these fat enabling douchebags too. Their children are all, and they're all fat. Their children are fat for the most part, and they just, I lived like this for so many years. This is bringing back so many bad memories.
Enough already.
And my mother's not even, why can't you even say thank you to the people that are helping you?
Enough already.
Oh, it's this big mental breakdown in a pigsty.
Sounds like the house has a situation on its hands.
Ah, situation. Now he knows how to fucking roll.
You think the situation would be able to clean up that house?
Situation wouldn't even be near that fucking pile of shit. There's no place for a tanning booth. No place to keep his gel. Mix up her shit with
Maybe
his
the
gel.
situation is a hoarder. He hoards gel.
Put old lady shit in his hair and go out looking for girls.
Who hasn't done that?
Jersey Shore,
how many
baby.
times I can't even count.
Jersey Shore, baby. Get on the train.
The show is fucking
Get on the
disgusting.
fucking train. I got to see this latest episode of Hoarders.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Other stuff going on. Good news. We don't need to play the audio. Alexa Ray Joel is not hurting anymore. She's just fine.
What?
She was hurting for a little
But
while.
she's still got to be hurting. She's
not hurting
killing
anymore.
herself.
No, she's officially feeling better.
Oh,
she's not hurting anymore.
who said that?
The news. So she's not hurting anymore. She's fine.
They ask her?
Oh, and the Tiger Woods situation, breaking news. The blonde that was rushed to the hospital on advanced life support has been released from the hospital.
Oh, really?
That's the word we're getting. And the news will have that in another half hour or so, I'm sure.
Oh, fascinating.
All right. That's it, right, on the Tiger Woods thing? Anything else there, Danny? Danny's been really watching that for us. So.
Not yet.
Hey,
Danny's at the Tiger Woods desk.
Yes, he is.
Today.
Yes, he is.
Breaking news.
Yes, he is. Hey, speaking of TV shows, we're going to do Lawman, or Lawman, right?
Lawman.
In a second, but...
My God, what a douche.
Top 10, actually, shows of the decade. TV shows of the decade.
Of the decade.
You want to take a stab at this?
Did you look decade. I didn't look. Now, this would be, obviously...
You didn't look at the list, right?
The 2000s, we're talking.
The 2000s, correct.
We're talking the 2000s. Top shows, I would have to put Lost in there.
Lost. Let me see if it says no particular order. Okay, no particular order. Give yourself a bell. Lost is one of the top 10 shows of the 2000s.
Just stop. I would have
of
to
the last
also
10 years.
say that Heroes is probably in there.
Heroes is not in here.
All right. Well, Hayden Panettiere is beautiful.
Lucky Louie.
Lucky Louie, I'm sorry, Jimmy. I'm
Jimmy.
sorry. I'm sorry.
Does it include cable television shows?
Yes, it does.
All right, then what do we have to say? Well, that's that.
You guys should be able to get...
probably started in 99. Would The Sopranos be in there?
Yeah, of course.
All
The
right,
Sopranos is in
okay.
there. Come on, I think you could really knock this list off.
99.
You got 2 out of the 10. Jimmy, come on. There's one in here that you definitely should get.
The beginning of real reality shows were the Osbournes.
The Osbournes did make this list. Which is nice. So the Osbournes, one of the top 10 TV shows of the last 10 years.
Oh, they did make the list.
Yes, they did make the list.
Crime shows, I'm going to guess...
come on.
CSI Miami?
Come on.
Or CSI in general?
I think they're just going CSI in general.
CSI.
So give yourself a bell on that one.
Will Frank.
We got 6 left. Come on. Come on. Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I finally saw that fucking show, Stephen S. I'm hooked. I'm in.
Isn't that funny?
That Danny DeVito is a fucking rip.
That is a funny
I've only seen 1 episode so far, so I don't know much about it, but I'm in. Got the box set, and I'm rocking it. Come on, what about this list,
How many do we have so far?
Oh, by the way, Sunny in Philadelphia did not make it, but it's a newer show, more or less.
Hannah Montana.
American
Idol.
American Idol, come on.
Shit, yeah.
That's in there.
Come on.
We got half the list done.
Jon Stewart Show or Colbert.
Wow, you nailed it. I didn't think you were going to get that one. Give yourself a bell.
2000. Wow.
One of the best shows in the last 10 years.
You're cheating?
Nothing in front of me.
I'm kidding, James. I know you're just smart.
You should get 1 more of these.
How many do we have left? 4?
And actually, a show I really, really liked is on this list.
ER?
It was a bummer when they canceled it. No, fuck ER.
That was the 90s.
We have 1 more.
1 more you should get, and then
Family Guy.
No.
Wow.
South Park.
No.
That's 80s. I mean 90s.
One you should get, not saying you like the show, but it's an obvious one.
Obvious.
How many have we got?
Very obvious,
How many do we have left,
actually.
Hope?
4. And then I think 3 not so obvious. But 1 more that's very obvious. Come on. Come on.
Critically acclaimed?
No. Critically acclaimed, no. But you should get it. One of the most popular shows of the last 10 years. Jesus.
Oh, my God, really?
Yes.
Did The Sopranos already?
It's so obvious.
Oh, my God.
Not
it's
Sex and the City.
Me. Ew, Sex and the City?
Hell fucking no.
Good.
Oh, God.
Tell me when you give up.
Suck a dick.
You give up?
Rescue Me.
No.
Uh-huh. All right.
Come on.
Arrested Development.
Yeah, that's the one I liked. And was amazed when they canceled that fucking thing. And it only did 3 years. Maybe 4. 2003 to 2006. So 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. 3 to go.
3 more.
That one I didn't think you were going to get. There's 1 still on this list you should get. Should really
Very
get.
popular, you're saying.
Extremely. Ridiculously so.
24.
Not so much in the last couple of years, though. That's your clue. Still on TV. Holy shit.
Oh, Survivor.
There you go. Survivor.
Ah, shit, yo.
Premiered May 2000, so, you know.
Just made it.
And those first few Survivors were fucking huge.
Huge.
And the last 2, The Shield and High School Musical, which just started, really, right? 2006. Oh, no.
I'm surprised I got the amount of that I did.
You did good, Jim.
Well, I mean, I had read the list, so I was assuming I would have remembered them all.
I'd have traded Rescue Me for The Shield.
I would have traded The Wire for anything on that list except The Osbournes.
Yeah, The Wire. Absolutely.
I read the list today, by the way.
Are we out of our...
I cheated completely. I was trying to remember the list that I looked at. Yes! I don't have it in front of me. But I couldn't remember.
Dude.
I'm a cheater.
But your acting was good.
Jimmy.
You usually know when you're fucking doing your
bad
acting bit.
I remembered, what was the one we just got, American Idol, just by visual. I was visualizing the paper.
Sure. Are we out of our minds to like The Wire as much as we do? Because you just don't see it on anyone's list. You don't see them talking about it as much as we do. I know it's been off the air for a couple now, but...
It doesn't paint... See, the way they like to paint things is a certain way, and it doesn't do that. Like, when you look at a show like Californication, all right, it's a good show, but to me, that's not a sex addict. Again, that's a scamp. That's a good-looking, that's a good-looking naughty boy scamp. It's a lovable scamp who bangs beautiful girl. That's not a sex addict. It's like, you know what I mean? It's a version of a sex addict, but it's not the version I relate to. I know there's a lot of Showtime shows are like that. They're like Dexter. They all have this really weird air of unbelievability, whereas HBO didn't go for, let's win everybody over.
Sure.
HBO went for basically the truth.
I mean, we don't know the drug trade, but I would assume it's just like they portray
Of course it is.
Especially when you interview people like Snoop.
Yep.
Snoop came in. And
I'm so mad I missed her.
And you realize that she wasn't fucking acting. She was just being herself for The Wire.
Criminal.
Creepy.
I liked Rome. But Rome was good.
Rome?
That was a good one.
What about
Deadwood?
What about that fucking the prison show that I written?
Oz was good for like the first season, maybe 2. Then it just got so ridiculous.
Yep.
That it just didn't make sense anymore.
Wait, there were no typical sitcoms on that list, right?
Typical sitcoms.
Like Ray Romano or any of that shit?
No, not really. No.
King of Queens, none of that crap. Good.
No, none of that
good.
shite.
It's a pretty solid list then. Speaking of shows, why don't we do some Lawman clips? Ant's been chomping at the bit with this Lawman thing.
Lawman.
This new Steven Seagal show.
Steven Seagal. What a complete tool he is. He's a complete tool.
Why is Sam in here?
What's the matter, Sammy?
Just in case you need help with the clip.
Sammy.
We don't need your help.
Sammy.
I'll be silent until you ask. I won't speak unless spoken to.
Lawman.
Yes, Steven Seagal. Well, who knew? Steven Seagal, 20 years. He's been a deputy sheriff down there in Louisiana. And a complete asshole. Just a complete douche. They showed early clips of him, and he was thin, into karate, whatever kind of karate he did and everything, making his action movies. Under Siege was a good movie for the time and everything.
Is it still a good movie? I remember the time I liked it.
It's probably, well, you probably watch it now and it would be one of those hokey, here's the bad guy, you know, sort of like the Hans Gruber character and then this and that. But,
that was the movie where the broad pops out of the cake, right?
Was that the one?
The Baywatch broad.
Yeah,
anybody?
Something like that.
Whatever, throwing you off. Go ahead.
Well, he was a deputy sheriff for 20 years, so he's decided now to do a show like Cops, a la Cops, where they follow him around with a camera. And he does his lawman stuff, which for the most part is telling other people what to do, much to their chagrin, by the way.
Happy that he's getting all the attention, right?
They're not happy with Steven Seagal telling them anything, to tell you the truth.
Getting in their way.
Yes, and it is Steven Seagal. They should call the show Steven Seagal Getting in the Way.
So you just said that. I visualized Dice in that same fucking...
It really is similar to Dice doing ride-alongs.
Yeah, just getting in everyone's way.
Yeah. Steven Seagal getting in the way. There was a great clip of him driving with somebody, with one of the officers, and he's just telling the guy, okay, left, now right here, now turn over here, go straight, now make a right. And the guy just goes, could you let me drive? Like he was actually getting angered at Steven Seagal.
This shows a shit.
Lawman.
Well, we play this first clip on Monday, but we'll start here. Seagal explains that he could be seen as a movie star or someone that will save your life.
Yes.
This is when he was talking to the recruits or the rest of the guys at that particular precinct.
Yeah, when you're teaching the class.
Oh, he was actually teaching a class.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Some of you know me, some of you don't. I've been doing martial arts for over 40 years. So you can look at me at a movie star, say, hey man, Steven Seagal here, he's a movie star. Or
really?
You can wipe that out of your head and think Steven Seagal can save my life. Because that's why I'm here. My biggest concern when y'all are on the street is weapons retention. Because that's the quickest way you will get killed. Weapons retention is one of the most important things to teach these kids. See that over there? Now you got them. 90% of the time when they get into a fight or an altercation, they're in danger of getting their own weapon taken from them and killed with their own weapon. No. Slide that this way. It's my job to teach them how to never let that weapon get taken.
It's my job to teach them.
Chris King from Ontario. Haha, right on, Ope. Christy Swanson and her giant creamy titties popped out of the cake in Under Siege. Can we find that clip? And yes, the movie pretty much holds up minus a few douche chills.
Yeah, there's a couple.
That was Christy Swanson. Didn't she turn out to be one of those fucking ice skating girls when
I don't remember her.
when they were doing like Dancing with the Stars on ice, basically?
Yeah. I don't remember her.
You don't remember? You'll remember.
I remember.
Her. She was pretty fucking hot.
I remember. Take a look. Yeah.
You want to take a little look at Christy Swanson?
We'll take a little.
Was
I
it
just saw a
Christy
picture.
Swanson? I might challenge that.
You know how retarded I am? Leaving for the parking lot yesterday, I noticed there's a new show right here on this road that we're on. A new show in the theater. You know that one theater across from the garage, pretty much?
Yeah.
A little before it? Starring Scarlett Johansson. And I'm like, I looked and I thought to myself, Scarlett Johansson's like going to be right there. And I work right here. And I didn't allow it to go any further in my head because I started thinking, what am I going to get Scarlett Johansson?
Why not?
But she's close.
Why not?
Dude, she's close by now.
God, we got to get a glimpse of her. When does she do the show? In the afternoon?
It's I don't know. The sign's up. They were moving shit in. I'm not sure if it started yet, but it ends in like April. So she'll be there, for a while.
Cool.
Maybe by that time I could cultivate some kind of relationship.
Of course. It wasn't Christy Swanson. I did put a challenge out there, by the way. I did challenge that guy's knowledge. It was, what's her name? Erika? Elaniak? Look at this fucking, well, it's the dated panties. The fucking dated panties.
Yeah.
Where they go high up on the hip. I hate that.
Yeah,
look.
they don't look good.
But look at those.
Oh, my
Look
God.
at those. Thank you.
Those tits are under siege.
Look at that. And there's Steven Seagal. Why would you fucking make her put her shirt back on, Steven? What's wrong with you?
It's in the middle of a siege. He's under siege, Opie.
You guys should Mr. Skin this shit. Could I see that again?
Yeah, because those...
what do you think, Ant?
Those titties are amazing.
What do you think?
They're amazing.
What the fuck do you think?
Amazing.
Yeah.
Nice
Danny.
freeze frame, Danny. Perfect.
Danny, give yourself an award.
See, Sam, learn something.
The freeze frame of the day right there.
Learn something from Danny.
You just hit pause.
Yeah, at the perfect spot. He was
right.
able to pull the girl up. You'd still be looking at fucking Under Siege pictures,
All right,
posters for the fucking movie.
You went to Mr. Skin.
Yeah, let's see you do it. Go ahead.
Yeah.
It's already there.
No, let's see your pause. Start over, Danny. Go ahead, Sam. You get one shot at
Go ahead,
this.
Sam.
There you go.
Come on.
She popped out of the cake.
There she
We
is.
don't see the creamy whites yet.
Ah, she's dancing. Here comes Steven Seagal. She throws her hat off. She turns around.
Are you
oh, my
kidding
God.
me?
What did you do?
Are
No.
you kidding me?
You paused it before she opened her jacket.
Paused when she was still turned away. We're looking at her back.
Oh, you suck.
I'm not even gonna play this game if it's not gonna be played fairly.
What are you talking
What
about?
happened?
If there's
It
gonna be
paused twice,
if
and you
there's gonna be
sucked both times.
other hands on the mouse, then it won't even go down.
What? Are you
If
fucking?
it's-
You're accusing Danny?
That's right.
Of
If it's-
interfering
of
with your
shenanigans?
pause?
drinking juice.
If it's not gonna be a competition,
Juice.
How dare you blame Danny?
if it's not gonna be a competition, it's not gonna be a competition.
Danny
I
doesn't
want
do
to say.
that type of
Go
thing.
ahead. I really want to see him pause.
All right. Here we go. Let's go back to the beginning of the scene. No,
Go
beginning.
back to beginning.
Beginning.
Come on, you fucking
You don't even know where the
cheat.
beginning is.
Look, you can't fucking
No,
get it.
that's not the...
Ah, okay.
All
Pops out of the cake.
With the horrible old school panties.
There she goes.
high
She's
up on the hips.
shaking her ass. There's Steven.
Which makes
coming in
their
with his
asses look too
MP5.
long.
She throws
All
the
right.
hat.
And
She
opens
pulls
the coat.
coat
Wham!
open. What? Oh, terrible! Look, it's all
It's a blurry mess.
You suck!
It's a blurry mess.
That is the worst fucking pause. And why didn't you pause it the first time she opened her shirt up?
That one's better.
Oh, yeah, the blurry one.
Well, it doesn't have
You
to be
are
blurry.
awful.
All right,
Danny's
Danny,
back
show
at the con.
All right.
There's Steven Seagal. He's coming in. There goes the hat. And she throws it. She doesn't move. She opens up.
Yeah.
Oh, look at those tits.
Nice, right?
It's totally blurry.
God, no, it isn't.
No, it's not.
It's blurry.
Squint a
Clearer
little
than
bit.
yours.
Just squint. It's fine. There you go.
Fixed with one frame.
All right.
God, you suck at that, Sam.
Radio is an audible medium.
Did Jimmy just leave the fucking show?
We wanted to get a picture.
Yeah,
who?
The cause.
Where's the cause?
You
On the other side of the building, I think. On the floor, you know.
Little Jimmy Norton.
It's a busy day here, Sirius. I guess the Kardashians are here.
Chris Brown's here, too.
Yeah, Chloe.
So why can't we get
and,
Chris Brown on?
Chris Brown, there's certain things he doesn't want to talk about that would be guaranteed to be brought up.
We'll give him some props for backhanding that bitch.
Okay, see, that is the reason.
Look, tell him we're on his side. We understand how to backhand a bitch, Sam. Get him in here.
We understand lippy bitches,
Right.
tell him.
No, I won't.
Huh?
No, because
just walk up to them and say, we understand lippy bitches. Come in, and the guys want to talk to you.
You already told her twice. See, we're in on this shit.
Come on.
Get him in here.
Say, who ain't smacked a bitch?
That's right.
I think he wants to talk about his album Graffiti.
Holy shit.
What about it?
Holy shit.
What?
Holy shit. Holy shit. Holy shit. Holy shit.
What?
I thought Louis C.K. blew us off because he's a big star now, but here he is on our hotline.
Hi, Louis.
Hi, guys.
How are you?
Dude, your fucking video you made to promote the new show, I can't even tell you how fucking funny that thing is. Where you're this close to sucking all sorts of cock and having cock in your ass, and then you get the call that your new show got picked up. It's brilliant marketing, my friend. Brilliant.
Thank you.
How are you?
I'm really good. I mean, that's a real thought that I had. I thought when you hit a crest in your career where you just might have a lucrative sex tape and then just get out.
Yeah, it was played perfectly. I mean, perfectly.
Thanks,
and then there was something that God, we haven't talked to you in a while. Parks and Recreation, unbelievable. And I actually asked my girl last night, you're done with that show now?
Yeah, I couldn't because I'm in production for my FX series, so I couldn't keep doing it. So they just had to get me out. Also, going out to L.A. to shoot just got hard. I don't like going there, so I just stopped doing it.
I don't know if a lot of people are checking out Parks and Recreation, but man, Louis was great as the love interest of Amy Poehler. And then
I think there's one left. The one where we break up is this Thursday. Tonight, I guess.
Okay.
Tonight? No, next Thursday. I don't know.
And then the other thing, just because I haven't seen you in a while, and I was tweeting you, and everyone's like, dude, he's too big for Twitter. He's off that fucking thing. I'm like, well, I need an email address so I can praise you, Louis. I saw the Ricky Gervais movie you were in, without the goatee.
Yeah, that's the most disgusting and fat that I've ever been on camera anyway.
But you fucking, first of all, you were great in that movie, and you had all these scenes with some massive stars.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. Rob Lowe and Jennifer Garner and all those people.
Yeah.
And Rob Lowe is fun to hang out with because he's very generous with his past. Like, he just smokes a cigar between takes and says, yeah, I fucked Grace Jones in a club. I was like, really? He goes, yeah, I just saw her walking around, and I was like 19, and I just said, I'm going to fuck that weird look right off her face.
Classic. So what
he took her into the bathroom and fucked her, and he said she still looked weird the whole time.
So what are you up to, my brother?
Nothing. I'm shooting my show, and I'm going to Sundance with the last special I shot. I shot it as a movie instead of like as a TV special, and it got accepted to Sundance, so I'm going there with that.
So is this the phone call we've been scared of, that this is the big goodbye? The big goodbye.
That's like I just called. I mean, it would have been easy to just stop showing up, but I thought I should call you and tell you that I don't want to come in anymore. I don't want to be part of it anymore. I think it's better that, more honest to actually come out and say it on the air.
Yeah.
That I just regard you in a lower way now than I once did. I just think it lowers my status.
That's
to come in.
Yeah.
I just feel you guys are just, lower than me.
Yeah,
all right, Louis, we got it. Hey, are you following this Tiger Woods thing?
Yeah, I mean, following it. I'm not on the briefing list by whoever, but I mean, he's a golfer, he's black. What else?
and he's fucking a lot of bruds.
Fucking a lot of ladies with his golfer penis.
Yeah, which it's probably...
So what?
Yeah, I guess we agree with it, the big so what, but I guess what makes it such a great story is how he had that squeaky fucking image that obviously is completely false.
Oh, no, so people are so excited to just rip him completely down. Just shit all over his mouth and face and rub it in.
Yeah, true.
It's got to be a relief on some level. It's got to be awful to be one of those people that's like, invited by the president all the time and, asked to do benefits. Now he's like, yeah, fuck you. I fuck everybody in the world.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't think he's going to be hanging out with Obama anytime soon.
No, probably not.
And bad timing. Golf Digest had Obama and Tiger Woods on the front cover of the latest issue of their magazine. So.
You know what happened to me with Delta Sky magazine, the one that's in the seat in front of you when you fly?
Sure.
They called me up a couple of months ago, and they said, hey, we want to do a cover story on comedy, and we want the cover to be you and Kathy Griffin and Chris Rock, like a 3-people picture, and then we want to have an interview with the 3 of you talking about comedy. And I was like, all right. And so then they go, okay, we'll set it up. And then they call me about a month later, and they go, so can you get Chris Rock to do it? Because he doesn't want to do it.
Great.
And also, do you have Kathy Griffin's number? And I was like, no, I don't have her number. And no, I'm not Chris Rock's publicist. So did you get him yourself? And they're like, all right, we'll call you back. And they called back and they said, okay, we got Chris, but the thing is he won't be on the cover with you. He wants the cover by himself.
Jesus Christ.
So they got
Not a good fuck you, Louie.
Exactly. And the last time I flew, there he is. And it's just Chris, big smiling Chris Rock. And it says, comedy's serious business and all that kind of shit and whatever.
Do you want us to Google bomb? Our listeners could get this done. Louis C.K. says, fuck you, Chris Rock. I can get this done for you, Louis.
No, fuck Sky Magazine, but please not Chris Rock.
Please don't, for the love of God, don't do that to me. Is that what you're saying?
He's still worth a couple of gigs if things go south with my FX series.
We like the Chris Rock. He did our show and had a great time. We're hoping he comes back. Yeah, this FX show, though, Louis, are you psyched?
It's the greatest gig I ever had because they don't tell me, they don't even read the scripts. Like that thing I shot for the web.
Right.
I just shot it and put it up, and they were very pleased. And I literally just go out and I write shit and then I go out and shoot it, and it's going to be on TV. It's kind of bizarre.
Yeah, that's awesome. And it's basically a show, it's pretty much you.
Yeah, it's just me. I'm directing it and writing it, and it's just me as a divorced father, single person comedian.
Right, but
I do stand up in the show, and then you just see sort of kind of like sketches, but they're about my life. Like it's not sketches about just anything.
And I think we've learned a little something from you over the years, Louis. It's not going to be sugarcoat. It's going to be pretty raw. It's
a pretty awful show. It's pretty terrible, and I can say anything. I had a great call with the Standards and Practices woman at FX.
Yeah.
Those are always funny calls because this woman sounds like a Republican strategist. She's really serious. And she says, the words that you may not say are cunt, and you get to hear her say that,
yeah.
You can't be, this is a weird list, too, for FX. Here's what you cannot say under any circumstances. Cunt, twat, retarded.
Jesus.
Fuck.
Right.
And she said, and cocksucker is a new one because of someone in our organization who doesn't like that.
Oh, I can only imagine, yeah.
If you watch The Shield, they said cocksucker all the time, but you can't say it anymore because somebody new in the organization just doesn't like the word cocksucker. But retarded and twat.
Yeah, those are like, that's nothing. Retarded,
yeah, exactly.
Obviously, you know why. But twat?
Yeah, who's the twat lobby? Who's raising a twat kid who gets offended?
Yeah, maybe in context of, her twat, but then calling someone a twat, you would think you'd get away with that.
Yeah, you can't do it. But otherwise, asshole, shit. You can even say sucking a cock. You just can't say cocksucker. And I asked her about that bit that I put on the internet. What of that would have made it? And she said, you know what? Each piece individually was fine. It was more the tonnage. That's the way she put it.
The tonnage.
The tonnage, the amount. She said a cock on the shoulder, maybe, but not right after, one in the ass and one in the mouth. And she said, I think shitting and two guys shitting in your mouth and laughing, I think that probably, I can't imagine where I would allow that. She said, but I might. And I said, what if I'm shitting like in Hitler's mouth, if it's a bad person?
It's a bad person, yeah.
And she said, maybe. And so I said, that's my goal, is to find a way to say shitting in the mouth on FX.
Yeah.
She said, she said, have at it.
How funny is it, Lou, that you got to have these conversations with the quote higher ups,
grown people,
and you're arguing, shit jokes.
No, it's hilarious.
Yeah.
It's a very funny business to be in that sense.
Of course.
But,
Jim,
It's better than being at NBC or someplace where you can't even say Jesus Christ. Like you can't even say take the Lord's name in vain as if the dude was fucking real. It's just bullshit.
By the way, Jimmy's coming back in studio. He bailed on the show about 20 minutes ago to go get a picture with Mr. Cosby.
Yes.
Jimmy,
really?
How was it?
Sorry, guys.
We got a nice surprise. Louis C.K. called. We didn't know he was calling today.
Oh, hey, Louis.
Hi, faggot.
Dude, I just walked out to get because Cosby's doing something down the hall at Ron Bennington. So I said, let me go get a picture with Cosby. And I'm just kind of looking.
Is that what you said? Who did you say it to? Let me go get a picture with Cosby.
I said it to my Louis C.K. picture on Twitter, and then I yelled, cunt face faggot.
Really?
No, I'm making that up, Lou. I wasn't looking at your picture. But so I went in to get I was just kind of hanging out. And, Steve Lee just goes, I was going to wait till he was done. And Steve Lee goes, oh, Bill, this is a young comedian. So Bill called me over. And he goes, how long you been doing it? And we just started talking about Richard Pryor. And he just talked to me for 15 minutes about fucking comedy. It was
Really?
The whole time I was just talking to Bill Cosby.
Did you tell him you do a radio show and that you're in the middle of it?
Yeah, that we could have maybe done this on the radio?
And perhaps...
Thank you, Anthony.
I told him nothing. I just asked Pryor. No, because he was waiting. They were actually waiting to start Ronnie's interview. They were waiting for someone to come up. That's the only reason I was allowed to.
How does he
hello
look?
to him.
How does he look?
Amazing.
You know what's cool about that, Jim, is that you're here now telling the story and you're buzzing, and he's already forgotten that you exist.
Every time he blinked, he forgot I was there until he looked at me like, oh, yeah, this asshole.
Exactly. Between blinks.
He was
that little shard of moment that his eyes were shut, he was like, there's nobody here. Oh, here's this guy. Who's this guy again?
Yeah, so I was thinking of you actually during the Terry Gilliam interview because I just figured that you would have really enjoyed sitting here talking to him.
Is that what you thought?
I did, yes. And I also thought how much more I enjoyed his company than yours.
Jim, I had an idea for you and my show because I do a lot of scenes with my kids, and I had this idea where you would be a guy running a newspaper stand, one of those places that you get lotto tickets in paper.
Okay.
And like you're really nice to my kids, like, oh, you sweetie, you want a piece of candy? And you give me a piece of candy, and then you turn to me and you go, it's, $2, and you charge me. And I'm like, you gave it to them. And you're like, you want me to tell them that you buy porn every Tuesday, you fucking pervert?
I love it.
We might be doing that. I might cast somebody else, too, who's a much better actor than you. So.
Oh, please, it won't be hard to find. Just walk down and point at anybody in the street and go, you, what are you doing?
You self-deprecating. That's not going to fucking stop me from insulting you.
Well, you know what, Lou? It's like my book says, Tears of a Clown. I've learned to laugh at myself and my own shortcomings.
Oh, fuck. How are the kids, Lou?
I don't know.
You're done with them, right?
Yeah, them too. Since I got the show and the series over at, I just, I wanted out of my kids.
Yeah.
And I got what I wanted out of being on the radio with you guys. I'm all set. Nothing could possibly go wrong now.
Did you mention his YouTube thing yet?
Yeah, of course. First thing
dude,
I
it was
said.
Fucking brilliant. I didn't hear the interview. It was really brilliantly funny. The link you sent me, Lou, was great.
Yeah, and I got to see it early before everyone blew the joke. And man, it was played out perfectly. And who's the guy? Who's the other guy in that skit? He's a great actor, man.
That's Bobby Cannavale, who's great. He won an Emmy for guest starring on Will and Grace once, and he was on Snakes in a Plane.
Okay.
And him and I were in that Matthew Broderick movie, this little independent film we did, Diminished Capacity, and he just really made me laugh. He's got such a funny voice.
Yeah.
So I asked him to do it, and he did it.
Gee, and the imagination, Lou, a little scary. How do you do research for that skit?
Just close your eyes and imagine people fucking you in the face. Just jack off and write at the same time.
Fucking
comes from the same place.
You got to come in here, man.
Do you know my favorite moment in that thing is, Lou, is when he goes something like shit in the mouth. I didn't say it. Just like he had to throw the idea out there about getting shit in your mouth.
Yeah, totally. And there's a moment right after that I don't think we quite got the way I wanted to, which is that he says that, and I'm like, oh, give me a break. I would never do that. But then I cave really fast. Like, yeah, okay, throw it in there. Yeah. And he was supposed to look at me like, really? Like he's kind of disgusted now.
Yeah.
But I would go, he's like, all right, good.
It works. It just works.
Well, I love the idea for me, Lou, and pending my availability.
Oh, shit. Oh, shit.
And by the way, I really want to come in, guys, and I've had every morning has been fucked. Going out to Parks and Recreation really made it hard for a while, and I'm shooting like at 6. I mean, I'm on my way to the set right now. So it's just been hard, and my kids and stuff. The kids, by the way, are doing great.
Oh, good. No,
My daughter, who's in the 2nd grade, lost one of her. She's got 2 teachers, and one of them left. Like, he just quit. Like, I didn't know teachers could do that. They just fucking quit.
I don't think I had
traumatized.
Did we ever have a teacher that quit? I didn't have one growing up.
So now she's got one teacher in a class that's meant for 2 because it's a big class.
Yeah.
And they're just going to roll substitutes through for the rest of the first. She's in that class for 2 years.
Jesus.
So it's kind of a nightmare.
Yeah, I would imagine. All right.
But we're all getting AIDS in the end.
So why does it matter in the end?
It all comes out in the wash. You know.
It doesn't matter what you do. You die alone eventually, no matter who you are.
Exactly. You got sores all over your face. Your lungs are scabby. And the nurse comes in and turns off the machine. And somebody else needs the bed.
That's right. Then you have to explain yourself to the Lord. Am I right or wrong, Lou?
Well, he can go fuck himself. I don't care.
All right, hey, we got to talk to Cousin Brucie, so we actually...
Yeah, get rid of me. I just wanted to say hi, guys. I was listening to you on the way to work, and I miss you. I seriously really miss being on the show. I want to come on soon.
You know what? I was just thinking of you, so I'm glad to hear this. All kidding aside, I'm like, God, I hope fucking Louie's not too busy for us.
Well, all kidding aside, go fuck your mother in the...
All kidding aside, I hope you're enjoying the show on the LIE like Harry Chapin.
All right, Lou.
Thanks, guys.
Take care, buddy.
Louis C.K., we're all going to be checking out that FX show. I think it starts in February or March, I do believe. So Cosby was cool, Jimmy.
He was... Dude, it was, again, I was going to wait till after to say hello or to try to say hello because he's on the other side of the room waiting for some of his people because he's doing some like rap album or something. So he has some guys coming up. So it was just kind of quiet. And then Steve Leeds goes, what are you doing? I'm just going to watch Cosby for a minute. And he goes, oh, hey, Bill, this is, I'm like, I felt like I hope Ron knows I didn't ask to jump, you know, and be introduced quickly. I didn't.
Nah, Ronnie understands.
And then Bill just started asking me questions about where I started and what influenced me when I was a kid and what did I love.
Did he seem like he cared, or was he just...
Everything. He was absolutely listening to everything because I talked about Pryor, and he goes, what did you like? What did you like about the movies, or what did you like about TV? So I talked about Pryor and Carlin, and obviously I loved him growing up. I mean, you know...
Does he know who you are?
No, I don't think so. No idea. But again, he's above all of it. I mean, Pryor used to steal from him when he started. So.
What?
Yeah, Pryor was doing Cosby, and I asked him if it bothered him. When Pryor was in the 60s on Ed Sullivan,
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, he admitted it too. He was a clean comedian for the first X amount of years, and he was doing Cosby. He was being that guy. So.
What changed those guys? Because Carlin was a really clean comic too.
Pryor had a breakdown, a bit of a breakdown on
and
stage.
And that changed him?
While he walked off stage at Vegas. He's like, what the fuck am I doing up here? And he walked off stage in front of a full house.
And
wow.
This fucking book that Cousin Brucie put out, I'm liking it already. Cousin Brucie's outside the studio.
Oh, bring him in.
Well, we got to take a break.
Oh, you got a break? Okay.
We're going to do a quick break, and we're going to get Cousin Brucie in here to talk about his new book. Wow.
Holy shit.
He spent some money on this book, huh?
This is huge.
You could murder someone with this. Literally.
There's a lot of pictures.
Clobber 'em.
And the font is nice and big. This is a perfect book for me.
Wow.
Chuck Berry, Frankie Avalon, Women's Liberation, Pop Goes the Bubblegum, Steppenwolf, Vanilla Fudge, The Who.
Kind of like James Bond and
Grateful Dead.
And like the Cold War.
1960s
some
TV.
Movies. Oh, this is a whole thing
Dave
about
Clark
like...
5.
What a great
Holy Pop Culture
book.
Wow, this is
going to be a
perfect.
good one to
All right, good.
put next to the old shitter.
Holla. Cousin Brucie next. Stay there. What a show today. In studio, Cousin Brucie. A legend.
Yeah.
A radio legend in studio. And Anthony was doing...
author.
And author. We're going to get into his book, but just a little observation. Anthony was doing live reads. We've done 1 million live reads. Well, Anthony more than me these days, which is whatever. I don't know what the fuck's going on. But Ant was a little nervous doing the live reads in front of Cousin Brucie.
I got done doing one, and I'm like, man, I've never been intimidated doing a live read.
Yeah,
until I'm in front of Cousin Brucie.
I thought it was fine. I think it was fine. I like what you did, Opie.
Oh, see? There we go. That was a little homage.
The rest of it I didn't care for, but the rest...
There you go. Thank you.
You want to hear what a boob I am? Brucey's talking, and he leaned back a little bit, and it's such an instinct that sometimes you move the microphone towards the guest. And I'm like, if you move the microphone towards Cousin Brucie...
I think he knows.
I'd probably smack his head.
And you'd be right.
I think he knows that, yeah. Cousin Brucie's on 60s on 6 here on Sirius and XM, so he's still doing his thing. And you wrote a book called Rock and Roll and the Beat Goes On. And man, they gave us all a copy. The book just looks really good.
Weighs a ton.
It's one of those really heavy books.
You know, guys, the problem with this whole book situation is I did not get paid by the pound. they did like a Dickens type thing. It was always by the word, you know. Now, this book is part of my heart. It's a year of my life. It was preceded by a book called Doo-Wop. Now, Doo-Wop covered the beginning, the advent of music, how music developed into rock and roll and gospel and swing, and went through about 62. This new book, Rock and Roll and the Beat Goes On, covers the time from 62 to about 73. And it's all, you know what, it's fun. I'm not a scholar, and it's not a scholarly book. It is a coffee table book that you can, what did you say, Anthony, thumb through? I think
you don't have to start at the beginning and end at the end.
A lot of great pictures of
you can look through it,
acts and
put it down. You don't have to sit in the John for 2 hours reading a book and forget where you are, you know, and you walk up and you're stiff and everything.
Sure.
No, this thing you take and you put down and you pick up, and it's designed beautifully, and the deal was that every page has to be a party. I want to open up, and I want people to open up their eyes and say, wow, I was there. It's surrounded by all the culture. Now, let me give you, may I give you a Cousin Brucie theory of rock and roll?
Sure.
Right? Here's how it developed. It's called the rock and roll cycle. And I'm going to be in Washington this coming Thursday. The National Press Club's honoring me. And I'm going to talk about the impact of rock and roll on society. Finally, we've been recognized. I've lived long enough to say, hey, it's okay. We know that you have impact. Here. So life happens. First we have life. Life happens. And then the poets laud it. The journalists report it. The artists then record it. Cousin Brucie exports it. And then it goes back to life. So in other words, it has a big impact. So rock and roll or any poetry, any kind of poetry or art, is based on life, whether it be a painter or a playwright. Or, of course, music has the most impact of everything. It has great impact on life. And that's what this is about. So it's not only just about rock and roll, about the 60s, growing up, how we ever survived. I don't know. You guys are a little younger, so you were sort of on the edge of it.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I don't know how we got through the 60s.
Yeah,
we come from very different places in radio. Why would you say you were so influential in radio? Because if Ant and I went on the air and played music, not just played music, but our whole thing revolved around music, no one would give a shit about us. But you were playing music, and it was really important, and you were just bigger than life.
Well, you know what it is? I think, as I just said, I think what my theory is absolutely true. I was at the right place, the right time. Life was happening at a frenetic pace. Right? Things were going on, and in this book, you'll read about racially, we were really in deep, deep trouble, right? Right? Economically, it was not great. It was better than it is now. Politically, forget about it. We had assassinations, and, I mean, we went through things were just unbelievable. And of course, we had the hippie movement, the intellectual revolution. So that decade was an amazing decade. And Cousin Brucie and my guys and the guys with me, my colleagues, we were there at the right time. We also were developing a new art form called rock and roll or contemporary radio. It never was done before. When I first started, they left us alone. They being the guys on the next floor, the ivory towers, wearing suits and ties.
Nice.
They still look like penguins to me. All those guys. So, you know, but they're all right. I think one or two I met were okay.
Really?
So they left us alone because we were experimenting, and they left us alone. They let us do our thing. And then, of course, as we started making money and garnering huge audiences, they then stepped in with their consultants, which to me is a very dirty word. But they left us alone, and we were allowed to dream. So we felt like we were part of the culture. The culture was exploding, absolutely exploding. And Cousin Brucie was part of it. So it was a matter of luck. I was luckily
you were in the
at that time, right?
Yeah,
right.
Consultants have ruined this business.
Oh.
completely ruined it.
You got to explain what a consultant is to the audience, because I don't know if they know.
We call them insultants.
Yeah, and we've taken our audience inside radio big time, more than I think any other show out there. And they're used to, just in my life, there was a time where you go from city to city and you would listen to a radio station. It was so different than your hometown station. And you fast forward a few years and it doesn't matter what city you're in. It's the same exact radio station.
Exactly.
And a lot of the times it's a consultant who comes in and tells you, he's being paid to tell you you're doing something wrong.
And he comes from Seattle.
If he comes in and says everything's great, he doesn't get a paycheck, so he's always trying to find something wrong with the station.
Now, there's nothing wrong, Opie, there's nothing wrong with Seattle, but the guy should stay in Seattle. I don't want somebody from Seattle or somebody from the state of Washington or Los Angeles telling me what to do in my city. Every city's a little different.
Absolutely.
But now, it's a little different now with Sirius XM satellite radio. The entire nation now, we're together. The audience has become very, very sophisticated. They know what to expect, and they can accept this. In the 60s, this couldn't work. Mm-hmm. There's no way, because every area was independent of each other. And Cousin Brucie was really very, very New York.
Right.
Today, they listen to Cousin Brucie down in Tennessee, up in Washington State, Hawaii, Philippines, wherever we reach. We reach the globe. And they love what they're hearing. 'Cause they're hearing this energy. And they love the idea of it's coming from New York live.
Well,
it's nice.
And satellite has brought variety back, because now you get so many choices across America when you get Sirius or XM.
You know what, too? It's great listening to, when you listen to the 60s on 60s, the jingles, too, which bring you right back. It makes me remember sitting in my dad's Rambler, and having the radio on, AM, of course, and listening to those old jingles. It still has the old... that energetic 60s sound of 60s rock radio.
Now, here, let me give you a little quiz. Now, on my show, I do something that nobody else does, but it's very much part of what you were just talking about, right? What is on my show, Anthony, that you don't hear? No, that's good. What do you hear on my show that you don't hear anyplace else that is reminiscent of that Nash Rambler that you sat in? Hi, everybody. There's
the
reverb.
The reverb, yes.
What a funny thing. I walk on the streets, or I'm doing this show right now, and you guys are not using that, right? So I'll walk on the streets, and someone will say, Cousin Brucie, can I ask you something? And I know what they're going to say. Where's your echo? So my answer is, my battery just ran out. They think it's part of my voice. It's my persona.
Yeah. I have a question about something you were saying about how art kind of comes from life. Where do you think it crosses over? Like there's life happens, and then there's art after that, which kind of reflects it or talks about it. Where do you think it comes to where people begin living according to the art they saw or heard, like where life then is, I hate to say the cliche, life imitating art, but where do you think that comes into play? Or when do you think that happens?
So that's what we're talking about, the impact of poetry. Or you look at a piece of art, or you listen to a piece of art, right? And it stimulates the psyche, and it stimulates the emotion, and then we go to react to it. We don't lead it. We react to the art. Always. You look at a piece of art at the museum, right? And when you sort of sit back and say, wow, that kind of thing. But music, when you hear it, hits the emotion immediately. A painted wall, print, takes a little while to absorb. Music, though, is almost instantaneous. It's like an instantaneous reaction. So when we were playing Fortunate Son, or you hear a Phil Oakes record, or what's it called, The White Boots in a Yellow Land. You remember that time? I mean, that was very heavy stuff during the protest time. You react to it immediately. It gets you angry because you are ready to go, and this thing just puts you over to the edge.
Sure.
But I do not believe that music can really cause people to do things, nasty things, violent things. A lot of people blame us for a lot of the problems happening. That doesn't happen. Right. You have to be ready on the edge. And this thing sort of just says, hey, this is what's happening. Let's go do it. Mm-hmm. That's what music does.
Let's get into this a little bit. So, you knew the Beatles very well, and unfortunately today's the anniversary, not the anniversary, you shouldn't call it an anniversary of Lennon's death.
29 years ago. We do call it. I call it a celebration of his life.
Right.
And we lost him.
29 years ago today, matter of fact, and we got Cousin Brucie in studio, and you knew Lennon well?
Very well, yeah. He was my favorite. He was my fave-rave, as we used to say. Fave-rave Beatle. We used to have these Beatle contests. Who's your fave-rave Beatle? Paul would always win hands down. John would come in second, then Ringo and George, who they called the quiet Beatle, who was not. He really was not.
Very talented guy.
Yeah. I became very friendly with John, and the Shea Stadium story.
Yeah, Cousin Brucie, I want to set you up here. Cousin Brucie was the one who went on that stage at Shea Stadium and announced the Beatles. Could you imagine that gig, Jimmy? Oh, my God. Announcing the Beatles at Shea Stadium?
It's one of the most famous introductions ever done for anybody.
It's been on PBS a lot. You know, I've got to tell you something. You speak about
the audience
emotion.
Thought it was a Barry Manilow concert.
No, Jimmy? Would you like to hear...
No.
You know what? Thank you, Anthony.
No.
We're going to really intro a band.
No.
Now, you introduced the Beatles at Shea Stadium.
That's too embarrassing. Not for the Cousin Brucie. I can't do that.
What is it?
Well, yeah, of course. Cousin Brucie has a sense of humor. Jimmy is a huge fan of Ozzy Osbourne. And,
right.
And Sharon Osbourne is very friendly with Jim these days, and they text message and email each other. And Jimmy was in L.A. as he puts on his hoodie, and he's going to run out of here. Jimmy had the opportunity to introduce Ozzy Osbourne very recently. Would you like to hear how he did it?
Before you do that, it's you can't play this for the guy who for the guy who introduced the Beatles.
It's so embarrassed.
It's awful. Sharon heard this, and I was less embarrassed.
Whoa! We don't know if it's awful yet. We got a legend in studio. Let him listen to it.
Let me be the judge.
Well, I have to hop on a plane.
How about you wait?
Which hopefully will have mechanical difficulties. So I won't be here for this.
No, could you just one more minute, Jimmy?
I'd rather not say curse. I don't want to curse in front of Cousin Brucie like that.
Listen to Jimmy intro Ozzy Osbourne.
No, you don't want to hear that. Are you ready? They were great, though.
Come on, you motherfuckers! It's in a Barry Manilow concert. Are you ready?
It isn't. Look how red Jimmy is.
Let me hear you make some noise.
Brucie's laughing at you. That's just like intro in the Beatles at Shea Stadium, right?
Jim, what was the mother's name? She was in the audience. What was that all about? I mean, it was just like I just was.
You want to remind the people that it wasn't a Barry Manilow.
I didn't know what to say. They were just very loud.
You know something? I think that's terrific. And let me tell you something.
Thank you.
You were in Rome and you did what the Romans needed, right? Right? Now, if I was on that stage with this my cousin Osborne, my cousin Ozzy, you know, I probably would have done about the same thing. I think automatically you react to an audience. As I said, an audience is you react to the audience. And can you imagine Cousin Brucie getting on there and saying, you mother, you know?
Yes. But the only difference between you and me is you would have somehow found dignity in it and done it like a man. You would have done it like a man and a performer. And I was like a 14-year-old girl.
He's a big fan of Ozzy, though. I mean, it starts and stops with Ozzy Osbourne, with Jim Norton. Hey, you were saying Ed Sullivan. You have a good story about Ed Sullivan?
Yeah, well, we were, this was the day of the Beatles concert at Shea Stadium, which was that legendary concert, which really started the whole thing. This is where Beatlemania really started. There were like 65,000 people. A lot of people listening right now were in that audience. And everybody was like, it was wild. That day, we have a utility folks in New York City called Con Edison, which some of us pay our bills once in a while. Right. Mm-hmm. Con Edison. And Con Edison could have turned their turbines off that day. There was so much electricity in the stadium. I mean, to this day, I feel, when I talk about it, I can feel the vibrations in my chest. You ever go to an audience like you've been there, and you feel that this unbelievable power of the audience? So we're in the dugout, and John Lennon says to me, Cousin, that's what he called me, Cousin. Is this going to be all right? Because it really was very scary one time they got there.
They didn't know.
And I said to him, no, nobody, none of us, we were all scared. So I said to him, you know what, it's going to be fine, John. They're here to share space with you. Then we go out. We're told, Ed Sullivan and I were told to get up there on the steps. We had a stage on home base. The guys were put out. Eventually, they got out there to second base, and that's where their stage was. The rest of the audience there was all kinds of things on the tank traps on the grounds. They had chicken wire up, and it was wild to keep the audience back. But these people were just ready for it. They were just ready. So we're walking up the steps. This is a great story. Sullivan's about 2 steps in front of me. Now, you know Ed Sullivan, really good show, folks, very stiff guy. Yeah. And a square. Did not really know who the Beatles were. Had to call Walter Cronkite to find out, who didn't know. Jesus. So I have this on tape.
Cronkite. Right. You have this on tape.
You know, this is great. Cronkite told me the story. He calls Cronkite and says, Walter, do you know, have you heard of a group called the Beatles? And Cronkite says, listen, the who? He says, the Beatles. He says, just a minute. Margaret, do you know who the Beatles are? He's talking to his daughter. And you hear, screaming, right? That day, of course, Sullivan grabbed them. They were on the air, with him, and that was that legendary thing. So we're going up the stairs to continue this thing. He's 2 steps in front of me, and he turns around, he says, Cousin Brucie, is this dangerous? It was really I was scared stiff. And I've always wanted to get Sullivan. For some reason, I just want to put my fist through the screen sometimes. Because he's such a, goose him or something. Do something to him. And I said to him, answer his question about is it dangerous? I said, yes, Ed. Very. And his eyes bulge, and then he just turns around like he used to, like a puppet, turns around and walks up another 2 steps, and then he turns around to me and he says, I knew I had him. What do we do? So I said to him, I was so happy. My proud moment. I said, Ed, pray. And he looks at me and says, pray? Like that, very scared. And we walked up there, and you know something? We introduced them, and nothing bad happened in that stadium all day. A couple of people fainted. The kids were trying to get over there. I patrolled Shea Stadium. The NYPD and the security asked me to come with them to help with the kids because they were great. The cops were great to the kids. They knew what they were there for, and everybody was just having a great time. But I'll always remember Sullivan and I told him to pray.
That's
and
great.
I got him.
The one thing about the Beatles, no one heard their performance because of all the yelling and screaming. And the Beatles, and that's why the Beatles stopped performing live. They hated performing live because no one was listening to them.
You couldn't hear. They'd go through.
And they only did 20, 30-minute sets, right?
And you heard, yeah. They couldn't hear each other. They had the big fold back. They called on systems on the stage. Monitors on the stage, folks. And they couldn't hear each other. And they stopped. They really stopped. And eventually they stopped the concerts because they couldn't perform. Then they went back in the studio. This group was really great in public, but they were a studio band. But here's the PSA in this whole, the PS in this whole situation. The Beatles were one of those few poetic groups that transcended music.
Of course.
Now, they became cultural. Sociological and cultural.
Absolutely.
And once you go past the music, the culture is where it's at. And the Beatles were cultural. Yeah. They became part of our wallpaper.
It's amazing it's the same band because I've been going through the box set recently, and they really started almost like doo-wop, Everly Brothers, kinda, and by the end, it was very trippy.
Can I interrupt? I have to for a second. I have to leave.
Yeah. That's good to see you. And listen, Mother, you keep doing it.
Yes,
really embarrassed.
Notice I can't say the words. I can't do it.
Thank you for being gentle.
See you guys. Safe trip, Jimmy. Have fun.
Bye-bye, Jimmy.
That's amazing. What else was I going to ask you? Jimmy, just Beatles.
I just wanted to comment on the book, and it's so it's like refreshing to not have a book where somebody researched this and that, and you lived this. Mm-hmm. Like, this is written from the point of view of somebody that was there and lived it, instead of some, a younger writer coming out and doing some research and looking up what happened. This is stuff that, you're able to communicate to people what you actually lived through,
What I wanted to do, and I thank you so much, because evidently I accomplished it with you anyhow. It's not a scholarly book. It is a book from the heart. Mm-hmm. It's my emotion.
Obviously.
I have a co-writer on it whose name is Rich Maloof. No, I'm not a writer. I'm a talker writer. I'm like you. I communicate with people. And I write the way I speak. Right? Mm-hmm. So this guy, Rich Maloof, who's a terrific talent, and he knows music, but he didn't live through this era. So he was a very good partner for me, because I'd say something like the Beatles. I was walking up the stairs, and he says, "Well, what was it like?" He'd pull things out of me because he was really curious himself personally. So the book is this collaboration. It's my voice. All right, my memories, my emotion, but he sort of pulled things out of me. And Rich Maloof's a very talented guy.
Those details,
it's not scholarly. I don't
want that. I don't want a history book. What do you want, a history book?
No. You want to sleep. There's enough of those.
You pretty much got one page on every artist. I'm looking at Bob Dylan right now, the Hollies. I mean, it goes on. You have a good Bob Dylan story?
Honestly, no.
A strange guy, right?
Well, he was, let's put it this way. See, I'm a very polite guy, as you know.
Sure.
I didn't find him, I think a poet and somebody on a genius level, the word strange is not really apropos.
Okay.
I think, let's put it this way, extremely unusual, very talented. He's a poet. So he doesn't walk to the cafeteria like you and I do. He'll float there. Mm-hmm. And he won't eat the meatloaf, you know what I mean? Right? He might inhale it.
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying? I don't know how I feel about him. I'm not a great fan.
You're not a great fan?
No, believe it or not. I like him. I appreciate what he did, but I'm just wondering, from what I hear and what I read, and this is strictly from third parties, was he really that involved with the counterculture, or was it really a lot after a while commercial? So I've always had that in my heart. So I guess I sort of was prejudiced about him that way.
Right.
I hope it's wrong. I hope I have the wrong thing. Maybe someday I'll have a chance to really see and ask him that.
Right.
And I think he'd be very honest. Well, but he's extremely talented.
Of course.
Brilliant man.
Well,
but he doesn't eat the meatloaf. He inhales it.
Yeah. Someone you did meet, Jim Morrison.
Yes. Oh, Morrison. Now, that was a fruitcake. Oh, boy. That was another talented guy, right? But completely out of this world. He was from Jupiter, I believe. Let me tell you a funny story about Morrison. At one time, I was doing a lot of the NBC television music reports for news, right? And I'd go out with my crew, and anybody like Morrison or somebody else would come in, I would go and cover them. I'd go right with my crew. So one day, they told me Jim Morrison's in, he'd love to talk to me. Right? I've had him on the phone, or I've had him in the studio and things. So I take my crew down to Park Avenue. What's the great, very fancy hotel where they made a mistake to let him in there and stay? Oh gosh,
Waldorf?
very big, beautiful hotel. It's been there for the 1800s. You know,
look at us. We don't stay in those type of hotels.
Neither do I. I don't like them either. So anyway, I go meet him in the morning with the crew. We have a little coffee, and I said to him, Jim, we're going to record. We'll go up to your rooms, and we'll that time was film. We were going to film. You had my camera crew with me, and all of a sudden, he has coffee. And I know his eyes are, let's put it this way, you don't get those from cornflakes, you know, or eggs. He gets up, he runs out the door. This, honest to God, happened. It's crazy. Gets out the door, and I see him running up in the street, in the gutter area, after, well, listen to this. He starts running, and I said to the crew, let's go, quick. And we pull up the camera. These things are not, you know, in those days, not very portable.
No.
Not little cameras. And we're going to him, and he's screaming. He has his hands up in the air, and he's chasing a yellow cab. And he catches the yellow cab at a red light, and he starts pounding on the trunk of the car, screaming obscenities and pounding. And we got this on film, and we have no idea. He then calmed down. His manager came over. His name was Steve. And we go back to I almost had the name of the hotel. Go back to the hotel. And we sit down, and he was as calm as you and I are right now. Isn't that amazing? So, and then we had a very good interview. But he just suddenly freaked. I visited his gravesite. Did you ever you've been to Paris?
No.
Well, there's a place called Père Lachaise, right? Yeah. Where he's laid to rest. By the way, they had to take him out of there, and they just put him back there.
Right.
The kids, when we got there, kids were there young. Now, these were kids that did not experience Morrison when he was around, right? But kids that became cult. And they were defacing the rest of the cemetery where Jim lives, and they had all kinds of things on the gravesite. It got so bad, and there's by the way, I don't know if you can say a cemetery is beautiful, but this cemetery is a beautiful cemetery.
A lot of famous people buried there.
And it's just laid out beautifully.
Yeah.
It's really a very peaceful place. But Morrison's thing became a circus. So they had to exhume him, I think that's the word, and then put him somewhere else, and then eventually laid him to rest again. And but
is he back there?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow. I know he is. I mean, it's crazy. But Morrison, I will get running out after a cab, and I asked him, and of course there was no answer. He didn't even know he did it.
Wow.
So, he just destroyed himself.
Yeah.
Did you meet Elvis? Did. Yes, a couple times. Elvis was a gentleman. Elvis Presley in the early days was a real country boy. The most gentle and the most gentlemanly guy I've ever met. He would call me on the phone a couple times when I started playing his early records, and he said, "Sir." He never called me Brucie or cousin Brucie or anything. It was always sir. He was a gentleman, and he was a sweet man, right? Thank you so much for playing my record, sir. And one day, unannounced, I get a security guard. He says, somebody here pretty important, he didn't know who he was, would like to see you. He has an entourage. Can he come in the studio? Well, they come in the studio, and he's wrapped in a blanket because this man could not go even in an elevator without causing a problem. Mm-hmm. And his life was really that kind of life. It was a life that he could not enjoy himself. He came in, and he sat down with me for a while, and he was great. He was just sweet and charming. Then, of course, as years went on, people started taking advantage. He got on some kind of interesting kind of soup that Campbell's does not make, right?
He did.
And his life changed.
Yeah.
Life changed.
Did you see him later on in his life?
No.
When he was
I lost it.
Yeah.
I lost it. I became very friendly with Priscilla.
Right.
We sat on a board of directors that a company called CKX was on the board that has like 85% of the intellectual property in Graceland. So I get very involved with the family and
right.
But so I'm still very involved with anything about rock and roll.
God, you've met them all.
You know,
Unbelievable.
Paul, I talked to him. Paul is Paul McCartney, back to the Beatles, sweet guy, right? Ringo's terrific. I mean, all these people, the big people are really nice people. A lot of the facade for the public comes out. They're very different when you're alone with them.
Were you intimidated as a youngster doing this?
Well, as a youngster, I was very shy.
Yeah?
When I was go back to high school, I couldn't even stand in front of a class.
Really?
No, I was very shy. I used to beg the teacher not to please call on me. I didn't want to stand in front of a class.
Who's the first celebrity that you had to sit down in front of where you went, oh my God, I can't believe I'm actually speaking with this person?
Bob Hope.
Really?
Bob Hope and Jackie. Yeah, Bob Hope and Jackie Gleason. He's a great.
Gleason.
It's weird. Listen to this. I'm an NBC, WNBC at this time. You know, I've been at a few stations. I've been at a few big stations. I'm very, very lucky in my career. And all of a sudden, a guard comes in, once again secure. There's some people here to see him. Wise guy, right? And I'm doing my thing, and very few things stop me and make my throat stop. And in the door walks Bob Hope and Jackie Gleason. Well,
holy shit!
Right?
Yeah,
well, that's right. Exactly.
Sorry,
That's right.
sorry.
No, it's not funny to saying sorry to me. There's a couple 100,000 people, 1 million people listening. Telling me sorry. Tell them sorry to them. Anyway, no, it's all right. You should hear me off the air.
Right. Bob Hope and
so
Jackie
they walk
Gleason.
in, and I said, he says, no, we're here just to ask you a favor. So I said, please sit down, Mr. Hope. He says, no, Bob. I don't know what to do. I was really that petrified.
Wow.
I was scared stiff.
Yeah,
and this is what happened. They were doing a special at Central Park on Sunday. And that night, one of the skits in the show that they were doing on television, was NBC, was about a disc jockey. One of them played a disc jockey. I don't know if it was Jackie Gleason or Bob Hope. They both came in because they were in the NBC's office building. They sat down. They said, teach us how to be disc jockeys. Read commercials. Right?
Yeah, there you go.
Right? Teach us to be disc jockeys. I said, I'm going to teach you. He says, yes. I did my thing. They went on the air with me. They made believe that, hey, here we go, the high tide. What did I give them? Here from the Tower of Power here with an high stack of black shellac. I gave them all a black shellac. Well, those days, that's records, you know, before your time, Anthony. Before your Anthony. Those little round things with a hole in
Sure.
Anthony doesn't know what that
Spun
is.
around. And
yeah, we used to cue them up and trench the records, go up. There was nothing digital in those days. Like I'm here on Sirius. I say to my kids, let's go on and record, and they'll look at me, what? You know, can we tape something? I'm still saying tape.
Tape, yeah.
Can we tape? Yeah. And they don't know what I'm talking about. I mean, I'm surrounded with these 20-something-year-olds, and I'm like, I guess, they must think I'm Methuselah or something.
Yeah. I bet there is one piece of tape in this building.
Oh, that's right. I learned that fast. I'm learning from them. So they do this thing, and here's the nice story, the postscript in this thing. After we get through, Bob Hope says to me, we really appreciate it. They spent about 20 minutes, 30 minutes with me. We really appreciate this. We would like you to be our announcer tomorrow.
Oh, wow.
On the television show. In my studio, there's that picture of Hope and myself. Yeah. And have you ever passed the studio? Because I'm right down.
I know.
By the way, I'm right down. Folks, I'm right down the hall. Right. I'm right down.
We walk by to go to the bathroom, and I look at those pictures. I'm like, he met everybody.
It's amazing. It's just
when do you have
everybody.
Wait a minute. When do you have time to go to the bathroom? I'm not allowed.
Yeah, exactly.
I have a trucker's friend.
Yeah, down your pant leg, right? Well, that's fantastic.
Well, this book, by the way, this book is a great gift. It's a great Christmas gift, a Hanukkah gift.
It really is. For the music fan out there, it's perfect. What was
just culturally, it's really
What was
amazing.
your favorite decade for music? I would assume you would say 60s. But.
Yeah, absolutely 60s. I'm a 60s-based guy. On my shows, I play 50s, 60s, and 70s. I go into the 70s.
70s was a terrific decade, though.
Up to 78. I think music stopped and died at 78.
79 wasn't a good year?
Yeah, it was all right. It was a little
Was that when that kind of disco weird stuff was starting to make its way in there?
Well, it started earlier, but we didn't accept it. I didn't like it.
Yeah. Oh, no.
Then today I love it. I love to play it today. But when it came in, I said, what is this stuff getting in the way of rock and roll? I didn't understand the music thing. I didn't understand dance. And today I appreciate it. In those days, it sort of got in my way. I just didn't like it.
A lot of people felt that way about it.
And that's the truth.
Yeah, it was
very
different.
especially people into rock and roll.
But I
I
love the innocent days of rock and roll. I watched the Beatles develop, and as the world got angrier, we started having assassinations, racial strife. I mean, forget about it. When people say to me, Brucie, today is so dangerous, it's such a tough decade, and I say, something, I'm not putting it down. I'm not saying that the president of the United States is not having a tough time. Economically, we're in trouble. But I got to tell you something. Overall, compared to the 60s, I don't know how we survived. We had a boiling pot. This thing could have blown up. We had in this country, especially racially and politically, and we got out of it. And you know what helped us get out of it?
Music.
M-U-S-I-C.
I'm with you
I
there.
swear. Thank you, Opie.
I'm with you there, buddy.
Great.
Hey, Woodstock?
Stuff, man. I was there. I was
Were
there
you on stage?
No, never got on stage. 2 days. I was there for
Just
ABC.
hanging out doing the brown acid?
I don't think it was brown. We were everybody. I'm not going to fib. Everybody was doing the hopscotch float.
Yeah.
We were, I saw, it's kind of interesting, we were there, we went in by helicopter, and it was there for about almost 2 days, and really dirty and smelly, but something, nothing mattered. What happened was, overall, we saw emotionally something transformed in about 6 to 10 hours. Everybody was like getting together, and which showed this experiment of peace. It really works. And the subsequent corporate Woodstocks that they tried.
Ridiculous.
You cannot, that is terrible. You can have a show, but you cannot reproduce an emotion. You cannot reproduce the human heart in the body. And that's what Woodstock was. It was an accident. Nobody knew it was going to happen. I saw cops, the state troopers, these big, burly, heavy-set guys, our state troopers came in there, to bust heads because they knew what was going to happen. They were going to, within about 6 hours, they were with the crowd. They were skunked.
Yeah, it was the time.
It was the time.
The place, everything fit perfectly.
Everything was, exactly.
It was a perfect moment.
It was perfect. The music was great. It rained. It was muddy. There was no toilet facilities.
Yeah.
Nobody ate. But everybody shared. Everybody, like here in New York City or any place else when there's a disaster like 9/11 or a blackout, which I don't equivocate with 9/11. But we all got together.
The blackout was 78. The big blackout.
I was on the air, and they sent me out. I was at ABC in those days, and we kept this station on with car batteries. And you'd hear we played cartridges in those days. Cartridges were, we don't play those anymore, but they were looked like a loaf of bread with tape in them, a little piece of bread. And you get on, and you hear the cartridge go, "You ain't nothing but a hound," or, that kind of thing. And of course, the electrical thing was we had no power. I went out in the street, couldn't see a thing. Went out with my tape recorders. Those little round wheels guys that have little plastic on it. Sure. Oh, you remember that? Okay.
Of course.
I want to make sure. And I don't take anything for granted anymore. And we went out the street, and it was amazing what I saw. I never saw New Yorkers get together and help each other. People gave everyone lifts, and they were giving food out in the streets and water. And then, of course, 9/11, I don't have to tell you about that. It was, I think something called fright helps that. When we realize that we're merely mortals, right? And then I just pray that it lasts a little longer. I see the edges coming back a little bit. But I hope it lasts a little bit.
That was the moment where I think Ant and I finally started doing more political stuff on our show. Before that, we were, whatever.
A little bit.
Being what we were doing, which was successful. But that was the moment where we said, we got to start talking about what's going on in the world.
You have to.
It's kind of rough when that marks the beginning of a new millennium. Pretty much was like, oh, God.
I remember when 9/11 happened, I wasn't in town. I was up in my country home, upstate New York. And it's essential at times like this when we're in trouble that people hear familiarity. They want to hear voices that give them solace, give them hope. Like your voices, people get something out of them. You're their friends. You come into their homes, their showers, their bathrooms, their cars, when they shop. And Cousin Brucie is a family member. They called me from a member CBS FM in those days. And I went on the air, and I said, I'm not prepared. And he says, it's all right. Just get on the phone. I was washing my car, I think, at this time. When I said, go inside quick and watch. I thought there was a movie on. This couldn't happen in our country. So I went on the air and I talked. And I remember I got so emotional, so angry, that I used the word bastard on the air. Now, big deal, And, of course, I don't have to I heard in the background, like that. Cousin Brucie said, I was so bastard. I was so angry at somebody, in the inhumanity of certain people of this religious order that that fringed out from the other religion, or they always had respect for the Islamic religion. And how can these people who are Islamic splintered away from the peace which is preached? You know, and I got so emotional. But it was very important at that time that somebody heard voices that can bring them, you know, together. Somebody familiarity. I have an expression I always use: familiarity breeds content. All right, really think about that.
Content.
Wow. Oh wow,
he changed it around a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit, right? Well, the book is terrific.
Yeah, like I said, great
roll,
Christmas present.
And the beat goes on.
And it's a lot more than just music. A lot of the, culture and things that
all
happen.
the things we've been talking about.
And look at that, Nixon and Watergate.
And I think the bookstores, all the best bookstores have it. It's on Amazon and an organization called oldies.com.
It's going to be,
it's all over.
Do well
it's doing well. And the other book is Become a Chestnut. I just want this to be in people's homes so they can let the kids read it and the kids. You know?
Let's end it with this. What's music missing in the year 2009?
We don't have a music, an MM, or musical messiah yet. Mm-hmm. We're still waiting for the next group or the next entity that transcends music, as I said, and gets into our culture. It has not happened.
Do you have a short list of bands that did just that? Obviously, the Beatles would be...
Elvis.
Elvis.
Right? It's a very short list. Sinatra did approach that. He went into our culture. All right.
Nirvana for me, but, you know.
No, but that did not become cultural. I mean, I'm talking about in the general sense.
So what was the last band then that did that?
Beatles.
Wow.
Yeah. The Stones did not. Stones are a great band. Some part of the culture. Fringe. Michael Jackson, a part. I mean, you know, the Michael Jackson thing now is so emotional when they're taking advantage of, obviously, this tragedy, this sad tragedy.
His own family's taking advantage.
Of course, they're making money.
They got a reality show now.
All right. And they'll open another Graceland eventually. You know, and is there anything wrong with that? No. But Michael Jackson was not part of the general culture. Never happened. The last thing that happened with the Beatles, we're about to.
You think it'll happen again?
Oh, absolutely. It does, because you know why? You know why, Opie? We need something like this. The human experience needs a leader. They need something to say, wow, I'd love to be like him. Right? And not just to sing and have a Rolls Royce. Mm-hmm. They need something. We always need a leader that can get past just the poetry.
Now, is rock and roll dead?
No.
I'm a big U2 fan, and Bono came out recently, and he was hinting that it might be dead because his latest album didn't sell that well.
Well, it's not dead.
And as a U2 fan, I didn't really dig the latest album as much.
All right, so you know what? He'll do another one.
But he basically, I think, said that he thinks rock and roll is over.
You see, the problem with all of us, if I may tell you, is that we're always looking at the last thing that somebody did. What about the entire ball of wax, all of his paintings, you know, all of the albums? You just can't say because one album bombed, so what? Mm-hmm. So what? We have listen, you and I, we have A shows, A+ shows, and we also have C shows and C-
really.
once in a while.
No, not us.
Not you.
No.
Yeah. They're fibbing. Yeah.
Cousin Brucie calling us out.
We're not dead. I think rock and roll is going. We are waiting now for the next thing, and there's some very good bands around today, and a lot of them are emulating the 60s. They're using a lot of the licks from the 60s.
Name one band you like today.
Oh, let's see. I like the Foo Fighters.
Do you like the Foo Fighters?
Yeah, I like them. I like Nirvana. I like them. My ear, though, is so tuned to the Everly Brothers and the Beatles and the Rolling Stones.
Right.
And I like Eric Clapton very much. That's where I am.
Are you deaf?
Oh, of course, partially.
So that's what we have to look forward to? Because my hearing
I lost a lot of the highs.
Right, that's what's happening.
When my wife talks to me, when Jody talks to me, I don't hear. And that's called selective hearing. But I've had earphones on all my life. Yeah. So you can look for.
My headphone volume goes up a little more every year.
Oh, it does.
Not good. Not good.
As long as people talk to me in full room volume, I'm fine.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, this was definitely a pleasure there, Cousin Brucie.
Absolutely. Cousin Brucie, thanks so much for stopping in. We're going to...
you got a catchphrase for us?
What's that? Yes, keep doing it, and eventually you're going to learn what you're doing.
That's it.
Hey, listen, it's really a pleasure to be with you. I've admired what you've done, right? You guys,
why would you admire us?
Well, because
you come from different worlds, sir.
Yes, we do. That's what I admire, and I am very aware of what you're doing. And I love the idea that you guys experimented right there on the fringe, and you dared to do things that what's the Star Trek thing? You ventured where no man is. And I like the idea that you've done that. It keeps radio alive.
What was the big thing you got in trouble for? The biggest thing you got in trouble for?
In Bermuda. When I was in Bermuda, I didn't know I was on the air, and this goes back because I didn't know I was on the air. I was a kid. I was just doing my thing in my first job in Bermuda, and I thought that there was a church service on. And I had to do audition sound effects for a dramatic show that I was doing in Bermuda. And I didn't know about cue systems or anything. I was a dummy starting kid. And I needed fire engines and explosions. So I put them on the air, listening to them. I didn't know it was on the air during a church service. The fire department and the security people ran down to the church. They thought there was a disaster. I mean, I had explosions and screamings. And I did a great job. I said, I got it. And it was on the air. And boy, I got in trouble.
The worst thing I did as a music jock, I know we're trying to end the interview. I'm sorry, but worst thing I did as a music jock, I was in Buffalo, and we did a Rolling Stones weekend where we allowed listeners to pick their favorite Rolling Stones song, and someone picked the song Star. And I didn't even know the song, but I pretended I did. Yeah, great song. Sure, here it is. What's your favorite radio station? Blah, blah, blah. And then turned down the volume to talk to some girl that was on the hotline. I was trying to make a little time with that. And the song has the F word in it probably 100 times. Phone's light, hotline lights up.
Yeah, those days,
I thought it was my job.
Yeah.
I was able to skate somehow because
you're very lucky. Well, I am very family oriented. I get a little silly when I'm with you. If you guys played with me with a couple of the words, it would come out of me. I mean, I'm a regular person too.
Yeah, you're a guy.
I like to play.
Oh, works. Sure.
Hey, I love a dirty joke better than anybody else.
Yeah, why not?
How about you tell a dirty joke?
How about this one? Next time you have me on, I'll tell you one.
All right, that's fair enough.
Right.
All right, rock and roll, and the beat goes on. It's Cousin Brucie's latest book. It's going to be a great Christmas gift for someone out there that you know. So check it out when you're in the bookstore, or go to Amazon.com and check it out for yourself. Right?
Very cool.
A lot of pictures, very easy to read. Thank you, Cousin Bruce.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks.
And I think that does it for us today, too. So we'll see you guys tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
Bye-bye.